Good evening, family. Hello, this is Dr. Kia Pruitt. Welcome. I have been trying to go live. This is breaking news. Check in, let us know where you're hailing from. It is Friday. Happy Friday. Yay! Friday, November the 22nd, 2024, and the time is 11:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have been trying to go live. Let me know that you can hear me, family. Check in, tell us where you're hailing from. I've been trying to go live. I kept pushing live. The computer would not let me go live. So today is a special day. So check in, let us know where you're hailing from. I have breaking news. There's no moon outside. Go outside if you can. Pause. Take a minute. Take a breath. Get a drink of water, drink of wine. I don't care. A glass of tea, a cup of tea, coffees, whatever you have to drink. I cannot find a moon outside. So this is breaking news, and it's special. Today is the 61st anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr. Okay, so I'm minding my own business. I've been telling y'all for the last 2 days, something special is going to happen on today because it is the 61st anniversary of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr.'s assassination, right? And 3 days ago on the 19th, President Trump said, I'm coming home in 3 days. You know, like 3 days and 3 nights, like Jesus Christ rose from the dead after being in the ground 3 days and 3 nights. I'm just saying. So when you count 3 days from the 19th, 20, 21, 22, voila, it happens to be John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr.'s assassination anniversary. Now, that's nothing to be happy about. So let's send our love and our thoughts and prayers to my friend JFK Jr., also known as David Quickly. Quickly, his story is that he's the real JFK Jr. He wrote a book called Stolen Identity. He talks about how his dad was assassinated. He was taken into protective custody, and he went through the whole ritualistic abuse that all Hollywood children go through, and children in the elite class, whether they're presidents, children, or whatever. All of them are all connected, they've been abused. They go through emotional and psychological and sexual trauma. So he came on my podcast many times. You guys have seen him, and he has come out to say, I'm the real JFK Jr. When he came out, the day before he came on my show, his son was unalived, and we don't know what happened, but his son passed. He came on, he went ahead with the show, and it was the day before he was supposed to come on. He lost his son. He's lost his money. People, don't believe him. Every time he tries to go live, they give him a hard time. When I try to go live, I have a hard time. But hey, we're here now. And let's talk about this breaking news, family. Where are y'all checking in from? I see you from Buffalo. I see you. Hello, Sojourner. Hello. Somebody says mirror. Yes, it's still 11:59 p.m. I don't see a moon outside. Let me know if you see it. Hi, Gulf Coast. Hi, Central Michigan. Washington State in the house. Hi, Sister Judith. Who is that? South Carolina's in the house. Hi, Sister Serena. SoCal, Southern California is checking in. That's Sister Karen. Hi, Leah from Houston, Texas. We see South Africa. Hi, you can hear me loudly and clearly. Phoenix is in the house. Hi, who is that? Louisiana's in the house. I see Florida here. Hi, Sister Lisa. Hello, Phoenix, Arizona. Check in from all over the world. Buffalo, New York. Sister Sojourners in the house. Hey, queens and kings, gods and goddesses. Check in. Sacramento's in the house. Love me some Cali. Love me some Queen Khalifa. No moon. Sister Serena, where you hailing from? Let us know. I see no moon. Oh, Phoenix Rising says it's 7 a.m. Saturday morning in South Africa. Sun is shining there. Sun is shining, but no moon here. Turtle Islands in the house. Hi, Frida. Who is that saying happy Friday? Yay! Arid. Any other news on JFK Jr.? I haven't talked to him. I tried to call him and check on him today. I haven't heard from him. So let's, pray that he's okay. Brother Ruben's in the house. Hi, Brother Ruben. Can't get up right now, but I trust you. Sister Whitney, I put up a Facebook post. People are checking in from all over the country saying there's no moon outside. So if there are clear skies in your area, let us know if you see a moon. Let's talk about it. I'm going to give you my thesis, okay? And I'm going to tell you what got me up to go look and see if there's a moon outside. New York and New Jersey's in the house. Sister Maureen. Oh, it's a very special day. Hello, my darling. Absolutely, Ali D. Anyone in Florida can confirm? Whitney, that's a good question. Anybody in Florida? if you in Florida, look up in the sky. If you don't see any clouds, you probably can see if there's a moon or not. Let us know if there's a moon in Florida. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't see a moon outside. It's super cold, very clear too. No moon though. This is crazy, Sister Serena says. Wow, check in. Bianca's in the house. Hi, my darling Bianca Morales. Morales, as in the Moors. Hi, Georgia's in the house. Do you see a moon outside? I know it's late, but Sister Anna, when I ask people on my Facebook page, do you see a moon? People are like, well, I saw one yesterday, or I saw a half moon earlier today. I'm like, no, it's late right now at night. This is what it was when we reported November the 22nd, 2024. So I know it might have been a moon yesterday. Some people saw a half moon, but today is their moon. Tennessee's in the house. Hi, Cha-Cha. Connecticut's in the house. Hi, D. Noons. Kelvin's in the house. Hi, Kelvin. You've been a long time supporter. I love you. No moon in Atlanta. Check in. Let's come on in. Come through, y'all. Shalom. Omaha, Nebraska's in the house. Melanated. Is there a moon outside? If you can take a break, go check and see. Who is the other JFK Jr. that we see? I have no idea. Everybody wants to be John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. at right now. Isn't that amazing? I don't know who he is. Some people are assuming that certain people that are podcasting that they're JFK Jr. because they're not showing their faces. Some people are claiming that, somebody on, Telegram is JFK Jr. I don't know, but JFK Jr., also known as David Quigley, that is the name that the government gave him. Has a book out. He has shown like pictures of his ears when he was a child and pictures of himself when he was a child, pictures of him now. They look strikingly similar. Okay. He's taken several DNA tests and they keep coming back inconclusive. But who owns the DNA companies except for the deep state? So again, his story is that he was taken away when his dad was assassinated, and put into protective custody. But who's over protective custody but the CIA and the FBI? And they're all one big old mafioso cabal, deep state gangsters. Okay, the banksters, the gangsters, the criminals that run the government, the people that run Hollywood, the people that run mainstream media. They're all one big group, okay, of 13 bloodline families. Then you have 13 bloodline families behind those 13 bloodline families that are allegedly connected to and related to Haile Selassie, who happens to have come from America, but he escaped to East Africa, is what I've learned from my study. So this is crazy, family. I don't know who these other JFK Juniors are, but he was taken away. But in protective custody, his mom, Jackie Kennedy, married Aristotle Onassis, and Onassis is also a bloodline family. Kennedy is too. People keep saying Kennedy tried to take down the deep state. He can't be a bloodline family. Of course, he tried to take down a deep state, but he's still a bloodline family. Just because you're a bloodline family doesn't mean you're nefarious or you're bad, right? Just like in every family, in your family, you may have some good characters and some, sketchy characters, but bloodline families are just those families that run the world. Some people defect from the bloodline families, and they're coming out saying, just because this is my bloodline doesn't mean that I go along with everything that they do, right? We see that happening every day. So many people would defect from the bloodline families, from the cabal, from the deep state. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, there was a movement called Tai Dong, and they had a big celebration in New York City where 400 million people defected from the Chinese Communist Party, from the CCP. They left. Okay, they didn't want to participate. Many of them were blackmailed into participating. Some of them did do it willingly because they wanted to get ahead in society, and some of them were born into it. Okay, you can't help who you're born, what family you're born into, but you can help, for the most part, the decisions that you make. So when JF Kennedy Sr. was assassinated, his son, mom, Jackie Kennedy, married an Onassis, which it was a ship magnate and an oil billionaire for protection. And she married him. He protected her. He had a baby by Maria. Was it Calassi or something? Maria, she was an opera singer. Her name escapes me. He had a baby by her, Aristotle Onassis. Their baby's name is called George Magazine. And George was the one who stole the identity from JFK Jr. He didn't want to do that. I mean, it wasn't because he said, I want to, but this was a way for him to, according to the story, take over the Kennedy dynasty. Okay, so George, who is Aristotle Onassis, and his mistress's baby grew up alongside of JFK Jr. And they grew up at, went to parties together, went to school together, all that. But you got to remember that the 13 families, the elite families, they do everything together. They grow up together. They act in movies together. They go to school together. They party together, all that. But you're still being controlled by these nefarious people who run the government. So they had to be mutilated. They were abused. They went through sexual abuse. They were drugged. They were put through MK Ultra mind programming, all of that. So JFK Jr. Was given the name David Quigley. While he was with the Onassis family, somebody killed off Onassis, okay? The same government that was supposed to be protecting JFK Jr. killed his stepdad. Then they replaced his mom, Jackie Kennedy Onassis, and they told him, this is your new mom, okay? So he's thinking, this is crazy. My stepdad is gone. My dad is gone. They, changed out my real mother for this fake woman. And he tells this very painful story. You got to read the book Stolen Identity. And the things that he tells us in that book is the things that we hear people in Hollywood talking about. The children who were groomed in Hollywood saying that they went through MK Ultra mind programming. It's the exact same story. He even talks about Denzel Washington and how he was involved in a lot of nefarious activities. And y'all gonna find that out too. So let's get back to the breaking news. And this is something because here goes my battery. So JFK Jr. was then given to the Quigley family, and he was told, this is going to be your new mom and dad, and he was given a new identity. Let me plug up my computer. Hold on, family. 1 minute. Keep checking in, family, while I plug up my computer. So he was told, this is your new family. Hold on. And you got to do what they say. 1 minute. Keep checking in. I have to plug this up before my computer completely powers down. I wasn't prepared because I got awakened in the middle of the night with this information. With this information about there being no moon. So hold on. Go outside while we're plugging in the computer to see if you can find a moon. All right. So JFK Jr. was given a fake family called the Quigleys. This isn't the first time I heard this because you guys know I know Whitney Houston's daughter that was taken from her. Whitney Houston got pregnant as a teenager. She was raped, molested May, and her child was taken away from her and sold into a child sex trafficking program that the government runs and control. And anytime the deep state wanted to control Whitney, they would just say, if you want to see your daughter, you'll do this. If you don't want to see your daughter, then daughter. Her daughter's name is actually Rena Houston. Many of you heard the story. That's one of my closest friends. We don't talk as much as we used to, but if you look at a particular video, oh my gosh, I can't think of this song. What is the name of the song? And Whitney, and the song will come to me. Whitney bends down. Oh, I get so emotional, baby, every time I think of you. At the end of that video, Whitney bends down in the crowd. You see a baby come up and she bends down and kisses the baby. That's her eldest daughter that was taken away from her when she was a teenager. So her daughter, Rena, has told me about being sold into child sex trafficking, being abused and mutilated, and finally meeting her mother right before her mom passed. And she didn't know that she was a part of this big family, that she didn't know Whitney was her real mother. So JFK Jr., though, he knew his father. And when he was sold to the Quigley family, he had to go along with the program. This is your family now. And still see the Kennedys, but know that that's not really my mother. That's not my father. That's these people that's not my Uncle Bobby. according to JFK Jr., they unalived his whole family, as far as he knows, and they replaced them with doubles. Why would they do that? So they can steal the money. So the reason why I wanted to come on today is because today, or at least on the November the 22nd, just a few minutes ago, before it became November the 23rd, 12 a.m. Midnight, that day commemorates the assassination of J.F. Kennedy Jr. But why was he assassinated? He was assassinated because he wanted to what? Take us off. He wanted to take us off the United States dollar standard, the petrodollar standard, and replace us back to the gold standard, the silver standard, the money or Mooney standard. Okay. Mooney, money. There's no moon right now. Happens to be no moon on the 61st anniversary of the assassination of JFK Jr. That's huge. And it just so happens to be the third day, the third day, according to Donald Trump, when he said, I'm coming home in 3 days. I told you guys this yesterday, and then I did a live early this morning and said, remember, this is the third day. So let's put the pieces of the puzzle together. You guys check in. You let me know what you think. JFK Jr. was trying to put us back on the real money standard, the real monetary standard. Okay. But in fact, what they did was they assassinated him, and then they put him on the silver dollar. Like, you want your gold standard? There you go. We're going to take you out of here, and then we'll put you on the silver dollar. Okay. JFK Jr. is on the silver dollar. You can go and look. Then we call that constitutional silver that was minted before 1964. The deep state got people calling it junk silver, as if constitutional silver isn't real silver. There's nothing junky about silver that was minted before 1964. It was considered real money. Okay. So what got me up at midnight talking about this? I'm minding my own business, sleep. And I told my friend, I said, I was just thinking about you right before you called. So it had to be the Most High. He calls me. He's like, get up, Kia. I'm like, what? I'm waking up. Like, I was just thinking about you as I was dozing off. He's like, what's up? He said, go outside. Do you see any stars? I was like, yeah, I can see a couple stars. Is the sky clear? I was like, it's completely clear here in Jacksonville, Florida. He said, where's the moon? Do you see a moon? I was like, no, I don't see a moon. And so he said, why don't you, find out if there's a moon? So I said, let me put up a Facebook post. Excuse me. I said, you think I should put a Facebook post up? He said, yeah, go ahead and do it. Let's just, let's just see what's out there. Everybody said they see no moon. They're checking in from different states, a couple countries. Nobody could see a moon. So we decided we're going to name this podcast Breaking News. Ain't no moon. Can you dig it? Because I'm always asking him, can you dig it? So family, this is very, very intriguing. And it makes me wonder if things are about to start speeding up in terms of the gold and silver standard. That's why I got on my silver top today. This might look white, but it's silver. And you can see I have on my gold crown. Let me see if I can get it right. Can't see in this mirror. My gold crown, my gold jewelry, because we're talking about silver and gold. And remember, I told you Alexander Mooney is the one who introduced the Gold Standard Restoration Act. He introduced at least 3 of them. In 2018, he introduced House Resolution 5404 to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. His name is Alexander Mooney, as in money. He's a representative from the state of West Virginia. So that was 2018. Then in 2021, he introduced House Resolution 9157, called the Gold Standard Restoration Act, to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. Then he came back in 2022 and 2023 to introduce the same House bill, and I think it was House Bill 2435, something like that, the Gold Standard Restoration Act, to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. Let me see which year that last one was. Gold Standard Restoration Act, House Resolution 2435, March the 30th, 2023. And then the last time he introduced it with Andy Briggs, who is from Arizona, and Paul Gosar, who is also from Arizona. And those three congressmen introduced House Resolution 2435 for the last time and named it the Gold Standard Bill. It's been called the Gold Standard Bill and the Gold Standard Restoration Act. But again, his name is Mooney, as in money. And these things happen for a reason. It's not by mere happenstance. These events coincide with each other. So it is coincident because it means they happened at the same time. But it's not just by happenstance. It's not an accident. So keep checking in. Let us know where you're hailing from and let us know what you think. And I'm going to give you some time to go look and see if you can find the moon while I take a sip of water. Ruben Rodriguez says, I've been seeing the moon up high in the morning and the afternoon time here in Texas. That's probably why there is no sun right now. I don't know if you mean to say there's no sun right now or there's no moon right now. Thank you, Brother Ruben. Thank you so much for checking in. We love you. Let's see, 5D. Oh, South Dakota here, Sister Shelley says, hi, Sister Shelley. Chattanooga, Tennessee is in the house. Sister Deborah, live in the now, is saying hi. Vegas is in the house. Love and light, Mama Kia. Hi, Sunshine Gold. It's good to see you. Ohio's in the house. Hi, Carmen Williams. Sending you much love and high vibrations. The North Carolina mountains are in the house. North Dakota's in the house. Hi, Mel. Michigan is in the house. Hi, Sazy Rich. Is it Sazy Rich? Canada's in the house. Checking in. Alaska's here. Hi, Gary. Wow, no moon in St. Louis. Guys, this is powerful. This is amazing. Something is happening. Are we officially on the gold and silver standard? Are we officially now declaring gold and silver as Mooney or money? And remember, the moon correlates with silver, which correlates with the divine feminine energies. Gold correlates with the masculine principle, and it correlates with the sun. Isn't it beautiful how this is? The sun is masculine energy, and it correlates with gold. The moon is feminine energy, and it correlates with silver. So let me tell you, silver is about to moonshot, no pun intended. Silver is right now $31, I believe. And somebody told me for a while, for the past 3 days, silver has been $31.31. Let's see what the gold price and the silver price is. Silver right now is $31.34. Gold right now is $2,715. Let me show you that right now. It's going up, family. You heard it first here. There's no moon outside. We're about to go to the gold and silver standard, which you all already know. I've been reporting this for some time now, that the Sound Monetary Defense League has reported that over 45 states have reclaimed silver and gold as money. Dr. Kia Prue has been telling y'all for a while that gold and silver is money, and that all states have repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. I believe I was the first independent journalist to talk about this, because I started talking about it in 2014 when there were only 13 states that had declared that silver and gold can be used as legal tender. So in those 13 states at the time in 2014, you can buy local goods and services with silver and gold in those 13 states, as in 13 bloodlines, 13 colonies. So I started reporting that in 2014 from Africa, right when I got home from Africa, because I was visiting Africa and saw the Chinese mining gold there. I saw a lot of Europeans, different European nations. The Lebanese were there. I think Britain was there. A lot of European nations there mining gold and having contracts with the Ghanaian government. And the Ghanaian government was supposed to get permission from many of the chiefs in Ghana. I was staying in a couple of the villages. We bought a place in a particular village, but we would visit the Ashanti region and other regions in Ghana and met with several of the chiefs. It's a long story, but I have friends there. I had a woman there that was about to be my daughter-in-law. So, I had to kind of get into the culture. I was named what they call them, a queen mother in a couple of the villages by some of the chiefs. So I was really learning the culture and the language and some of the things that were going on. And what we saw was a lot of mining of the gold. But again, the president was supposed to get permission from the chiefs because the chiefs are the stewards of the land in Ghana. So the chiefs are considered the lesser king. And then there's the Asante Henny, which I went to go meet during the Akwesi Day Festival around 2014, 2015. I've shown you guys pictures of that. And when the president gets permission from the chiefs, which is supposed to be authentic permission from the chiefs, what they would do is promise the chiefs that if you let these people come and mine on the land, oh, we promise you that everybody in the village is going to have good jobs, and then all the money will flow back into the economy in the villages. And what the chiefs gonna say? Okay, are they gonna say no for real to the president, and knowing that the president is run by Britain and has contracts with Britain, and if you don't do what they say, you're going to get unalive? So the chiefs would say, okay, thinking that you're going to take care of the people, but the presidents would make these contracts with these mining companies. They come in there, pay the men, big old brawny muscular men, to work in the mines and give them 10 Ghana cedis a week. And 10 Ghana cedis at the time when I was there was no money at all, because I think the currency was like, I think 10 Ghana cedis equated with 3 or 4 of our dollars a week, USD. Okay, so they were getting nothing. And the money never flowed back into the economy. The chiefs were about to have a meeting, so they sat my sons and me down. They were like, we're going to go and talk to all the chiefs in the region to figure out what can we do. And they were talking to us because we were Americans. Mind you, we had no big money, no contracts or nothing. But they're like, you guys are Americans. Can you let the American people know what we're going through? Can you guys find some Americans that can help us out? Because these people that are here who are coming to mine in our country, they have contracts with the government, and they're all in cahoots with each other, and they're not helping the people. So when I saw that there, and I read excerpts from this book called Africa is China's Second Continent, I knew something was going on. Let's take a break. I just want you to see right quick what's going on here with the gold price. You can see gold is $2,715.28. Is up by $42.54. Silver is $31.34. It's up by 49 cents. So there's a reason why I'm telling you guys this. Silver and gold are going up for a reason, and it happens to be going on up today. So back to 2014, when I was in Ghana, I started reporting. From there, I'm in the gold mines. We'll go to the small gold mines. I was like, look who's here. It's not the Ghanaian people running the gold mines. It's other nations here, because Ghana is a major gold producer. It is called the Gold Coast for that reason. And so they were taking advantage of the land, mining gold for themselves, making their countries rich. Okay, the Asian countries, mainly China there, European nations there, and not putting back money into the economy. And what the Ghanaians told me is they were like, we'd rather work. We said, we don't want anybody in our country mining, but we'd rather work with the Europeans because at least they pay us more money, and at least they are relatively fair. Like, we get breaks with them, but with the Chinese, they were saying we don't get no breaks. They pay us, pennies. They have guns on our gold mines. They treat us like we're some type of thieves in our own country. They don't put more money back into the economy. They prepare their own food. They hire people from their country to come over here and cook for them. So none of that money would go right back into the economy. And that's when I was like 2014, something was going on. And I took to my social media, like, we need to pay attention. I don't know what's going on, but there's a reason why all these nations are in Ghana. And then so I started paying attention, and God just, woke me up. Fast forward to 2016, President Trump becomes the president here in the United States, and he says, I'm going to move the nation back to the gold standard, and I'm going to nominate Dr. Judy Shelton to be the head of the Federal Reserve. So I was like, why did he choose Dr. Judy Shelton? Well, the reason why he chose Dr. Judy Shelton is because she has a PhD in economics and a degree in business. And she is what they call a gold bug. She supports the gold standard. Now, although she didn't make it as the chair of the Federal Reserve just recently, somebody took to Twitter and they were like, we wish you would come back on board, Dr. Judy Shelton. Judy Shelton. This was just like yesterday or the day before. She says, I'm already on board. So that lets you know that now that President Trump is president-elect, he indeed is going to put her in that position as the chair of the Federal Reserve. What he did do when he was serving from 2016 through 2020 was put the duties of the Federal Reserve and the duties of the IRS underneath the United States Treasury Department. So he was letting us see right then that he was ending the Fed. And at the same time, you had House Resolutions 24 and 25 come about and be introduced between 2018 and 2020. And those two resolutions or bills, number 24 and 25, were to oversee, monitor, and dissolve the Federal Reserve and the IRS. That was between 2018 and 2020. And then most recently, you had a representative to introduce the End the Fed Act. So since then, we've heard that the Federal Reserve is bankrupt and defunct and insolvent, as well as the United States Incorporated. The fake government is insolvent. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying it all means something is going down right now, family. Can you dig it? I can dig it. Can you dig it, family? What's happening? Okay, we're going into a whole new golden era. That's what's happening, where silver and gold are money. So I started reporting about that in 2014. President Trump becomes the president in 2016. But between 2016 and 2017, I'm saying he is going to move us back to the gold standard, family. There's no reason why he's talking about gold if he's not going to move us back to the gold standard. And he said he was going to nominate Dr. Judy Shelton. Then when I looked her up, I took to my social media and I said, she is going to help him return America back to the gold standard. So then I started looking at what's happening in the states. And as state by state started joining in with those 13 states that I reported on 2014 to repeal, which means to remove the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, Dr. Kia Pruitt said, family, that means they are acknowledging gold and silver once again as money in alignment with the Constitution that says the only thing that can be used to pay off debt, according to Article 1, Section 10, is silver and gold. And the only thing that can be used as money, according to our Constitution, for our republic, our lawful government, is silver and gold. And I also told you that the Constitution defines the dollar as a fixed weight in silver. So fast forward through the last couple of years, between 2020 and 2024, I started talking about it. It went up to quickly went up to 41 states repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. Then it was 42. Then I think Mississippi became 43, Wisconsin became 44, Kentucky became the 45th state to repeal the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. And then I told you all when the Sound Money Defense League announced that over 45 states had repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, I said, we're here, over 45 states. And in February of 2023, I showed you King's World article that says the whole world is hurtling back towards gold as a money. So that's what's happening, family. This is an exciting time to be alive. It just so happened that we see no moon on the day that we recognize it to be the 61st anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., who tried to take us back to the silver and gold standard. This is not something that just happened out of, thin air or just by happenstance. Deborah's checking in from Las Vegas. Let me take a break. Hello, BMO 6969 is checking in from Texas. A Jewel Ross says sunshine. Joyce Edwards, says hello from Connecticut. Jackson, Tennessee is in the house. Hello. Belada. Ontario is here. Hi, Marge. It's good to see you. Utah's in the house. Hi there, lovely Dr. Kia. You so are right, sister. Always tell the truth, sister. Thank you, Sister Ellen from Texas. I appreciate you saying that. Hi, Queen. It's good to see you, Miss Rosie from Queen, Massachusetts. From Massachusetts. Okay, checking in from Massachusetts. Ria says, Dr. Kia, sometimes I don't see the moon every night. As a matter of fact, sister, I reported this about 2 weeks ago that my daughter had told me she couldn't see the moon and I couldn't see it, So I'm with you. This makes us wonder, is the moon a program? Is it real? Because some scientists assert that the moon was actually carried onto our reality and that the moon is actually a place where they conduct certain investigations, they do research, do experimentations there. We do know that DreamWorks, I think it's a movie company, their logo is a little boy sitting on the side of the moon with a fishing pole. And some assert that they're letting you know that they fish for souls and they recycle souls. When you pass away, we know that, energy doesn't die, but it transmutes or it just changes. But when you die or pass away, you end up being recycled and come in here and they wipe away your memory. Some people say that DreamWorks, that logo was actually sending a coded message to let us know that they use the moon to somehow recycle our souls and make us come back here and relive this hell that we've been experiencing over and over and over again. It's really a travesty what they've done to us here on this planet. So was the moon brought here for them to do research? Was it here to recycle souls? Here's one for you. Since we know the moon correlates with the feminine principle, did these beings who seeded humanity here, remember the scripture says, let us make man in our image. And you always say, who is us? Well, if in fact it is interdimensional beings that seeded humanity here, they were probably talking to each other. So once they made us here, they or it or whatever created us, was the moon brought on to but to control the emotions of the female? Because the moon, regulates our cycle, or it correlates with our menstrual cycle. The moon messes with our emotions. I'm talking about the feminine principle, the woman. That's why they call us lunatics and emotional, because these beings are here. They do all type of experimentations on the people here, on our children, on our men and our women. Was the moon brought here to cause confusion with the woman? Are they trying to figure out how to play tricks on us by making us moody, by shifting our menstrual cycles? We know that early females, before we had mass enslavement of the planet, did not have menstrual cycles. Many scientists will say that. We never had a menstrual cycle. So once they had mass enslavement of humanity, or so-called humans on this planet, we started having the menstrual cycles because allegedly, we're traumatized. And so when you think about bleeding for 4 to 7 days once a month, and how it weighs on you, it does play with your emotions. It make you stressed out. Because imagine, whether you're a man or woman, imagine just constantly bleeding for 7 days straight, and you can't stop it. With severe headaches, cramps, your emotions going all over the place. It's almost as if they're playing tricks on us. Is that the reason why the moon was introduced into our planet, into our system? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. So honestly, I'd be glad to see the moon go, unless somebody can tell me some benevolent reason for why the moon should be here. I know the scripture says the sun rules the day, the moon rules the night, but who wrote those scriptures? And what does it mean to rule the day and the night? Because we know that the moon is really messing with the feminine psyche. So the moon is equivalent to lunar, and that's why they call people lunatics if their emotions are over the place or they have psychological issues. That was a long dissertation, so please pardon me. Hey, Sister Sherry Taylor, it's good to see you. Ooh, Seoul Korea's in the house. Hello, Michael. It's good to see you. Welcome. Houston, Texas in the house. Thank you for joining us. Connecticut is in the house. On Passive on Fire. I love your name. I love you too. Live in the now. I love you very much. Brazil's in the house. My daughter-in-law is from Brazil. Welcome. Who was that? That is Delia Gomes. My maiden name on my mom's side is Gomez. We come from, my mother's line comes from Colombia. Okay, so welcome, family. Kenneth from Maryland is here. Who else? I have posted your live into my 2 groups, A Story to Be Told on Facebook. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate that. Hey, family, look. Hello, sister. Gold Star Mother Susan Price is in the house, family. Check in. Tell Gold Star Mother Susan Price hello. Let her know you love her. What makes a Gold Star mother is that she is a mother of a fallen soldier. Her son, Aaron Michael Kennefic, served in the United States military. Let's give him honor for serving. He lost his life actually taking down the deep state. He knew too much. So let's pray for Gold Star Mother Susan Price. Send her lots of love. Put hearts, please. Put hearts in the comment section. And if you can't put hearts there, put a 1 in the chat to send your love to Gold Star Mother Susan Price. Let her know we appreciate her for being the mother of the Patriot community. She's not the mother of the Patriot community. She is the mother. Okay, that's what we call her, the Mother Price. Put a 1 in the chat. Put some hearts in there. Let's show her some love. She served in the military. Her daddy served in the military. Her son was a sergeant artillery gunman, I think you call it. Sergeant gunman artillery, or sergeant artillery gunman. He had many, many medals. He had lots of accolades. And what happened was he was uncovering the deep state that was going on in our government, and he knew so much. So he was on a mission, inside of a mission, and he and his comrades were actually doing the work wherever they were, and they called for help. And do you know, these sick elite people, I'm telling you, that was running our government, left him and his comrades to perish. They never went to rescue him, and they left him. So this is why we have to get rid of these people in power, because in every area of our government and every area of our lives, they have been doing some very nefarious things, which means evil, wicked things. So let's send her some love, family. Let her know that you really appreciate her. Loads of love to you. Natome in Tone Biz. Hello, Arizona's in the house. Yes, this is officially, thank you, Judith, also the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, we're moving into the 5th dimension, okay? 5D, we've left the 3rd dimension. That might be another reason we don't see the moon, okay? Let's keep checking in. Let me know your thoughts about this. So now that we're in the 5th dimension, we're leaving the era of Pisces. Pisces is a time of just believing, 3D, a lot of, low vibrational things was in our timeline, a lot of Erdeme, a lot of unaliving of people, a lot of ritualistic abuse, child sacrifice, bloodletting rituals, passing children through the fire, offering them to Molech, offering them to Baal, all that in the 3rd dimensional reality. A lot of hate, racism, sexism, violence, bankster violence, and enslavement of people through the financial systems. All that was 3D. But the age of Aquarius means that now that we've entered a new era, and Gold Star Mother Susan Price knows about this. She really studies and knows a lot about astrology. And she is a Christian, but she also understands astrology. Now we're going to move into a high vibrational frequency where we're in a higher dimension. So your thoughts will elevate. Your reality will no longer have those 3D programs and paradigms where there's a lot of Erdeme, speaking in pig Latin, or unaliving. You won't see a lot of violence. You won't see a lot of any graping. What you're going to see is world peace. You're going to manifest and you're going to realize and live in a whole new vibrational reality where everybody's joyous, peaceful, and prosperous, and we're all going to be sovereign. And that's why we keep reporting on the 209 nations that dropped the dollar for trade, and they're using gold and silver for trade. And they have declared their sovereignty, which means they have rule, reign, and control of their own lives. You're also going to see a time where, and you're experiencing that, the Supreme Court of the United States is reversing certain laws and rules that had enslaved us. That, like even the one that a lot of women are upset with, they overturned Roe versus Wade, because initially the woman whose real name is not Roe, okay, that was a fake name, a nickname. I don't know what's another name you call it, but that wasn't her real name. She lied and said she was raped by 3 Black men and she was pregnant and needed to end her pregnancy. And that is what they used to convince society to accept unaliving children. Recently, she came out and said that she lied and that she was paid to lie, because before, the federal government did not have those type of powers to say, that a woman should be able to unalive her baby. But they used this woman, paid her during this admiralty law, maritime law, and the third dimensional reality. Row your boat. Roe versus Wade. Wade as in water, row as in rowing your boat. This is all a sick, twisted program. They used her to manipulate the masses, to encourage the government to then officially and legally, not lawfully, because lawful has to do with the Constitution for our republic. Legal has to do with the fake government that was incorporated in 1871. The United States Incorporated. So they wanted to pass that as a legal statute and code or policy that says you can unalive your own child. Now, with the overturning of that, the only thing the Supreme Court of the United States is saying is we're just overturning that whole so-called law that was brought in on a false premise. And we're turning it back over to the states. So if a woman wants to make that decision about and wants to have reproductive rights, then she needs to vote that in her state or go to a state that allows it. But what you have is a lot of emotional people crying and whining and saying people hate women, and I'm going to shave my head and I'm going to stop having sex with men and I'm not going to get married, like they're hurting us, okay? They just don't know. They're misinformed. They don't know that the woman who, was propagating this lie was paid to lie and that she admitted to lying. And they don't pay attention enough to know that all they're saying is that the government doesn't have the power to make that rule. Why? Because the government is non-existent. The United States Incorporated is non-existent. They're bankrupt, defunct, and gone. The republic has been restored. That's how it's always been, that according to the republic, every state makes its own laws because every state is actually a country. North America is a continent. We have 50 countries here, not 50 states. That's why each state has its own flag, its own laws, its own lawmakers. Okay, so all the Supreme Court was saying is now you have to, if you want to do something with your body or you want something to happen in your state, you have to get off your behind, stop expecting a so-called fake government to make rules for you and go out and vote the policies in or write them in that you need for your people in your community, in your country or your state. Now we got to stop blaming governments and getting mad at governments and start actually doing something with our lives, like making sure that our state is running according to the way we want it to run and putting the people in power that we desire to be put there. That's all. So you see an overturning of a lot of things now. You see the Supreme Court not only overturning certain lawsuits like Roe versus Wade, like the Chevron doctrine. The Chevron doctrine allowed for the fake United States Incorporated, the fake government, to be in cahoots with these agencies that call themselves federal agencies that weren't federal. They were just actually corporations with a Dun and Bradstreet number, with a tax ID number. These federal agencies were corporations. They're not government agencies. So the Chevron doctrine was overturned because they these 469, it was either 439 or 469 agencies that were creating their own policies and their own statutes and codes and making us go by them. The United States Supreme Court had to overturn the Chevron doctrine that said they were allowed to do that because what they determined was these 400 and some odd federal agencies were unconstitutional and treasonous. And it went further in the overturning of the Chevron doctrine to say that when not only are these 430 something federal agencies treasonous and unconstitutional, but they were causing us to live in perpetual slavery. And when we challenged them, any agency like the FBI, CIA, who else, the EPA, or any of those federal agencies, if I can find a list again, I'll bring it up to you. But if we challenge them in court, judges would defer back to those agencies and say, you can challenge them if you want, but you still have to do whatever they say because they're the experts. That's how it became, the Chevron doctrine became known as the Chevron deference, because the judges and the courts would defer back to those agencies and force us to do whatever they say. Like, you have to have a driver's license to drive. That's unconstitutional. You shouldn't have to have a driver's license, because when you drive, you're conducting commerce, right? You're conducting business, but we're not conducting commerce. We're travelers, not drivers. So you shouldn't have to have a driver's license. Unconstitutional, treasonous. So if we were to take the Department of Motor Vehicles or whatever that agency is that forces you to get a driver's license, the judge would defer back to them and say, you have to do that because they are the experts. Well, the Supreme Court has ruled that any judge that deferred so-called laws, which are actually policies, statutes, and codes, back to those policies of those agencies, any judge that did that, they committed treason. And any judge that knows of a judge that allowed that to happen and did not report it to the president, he has committed misprision of treason. So the Supreme Court is saying, we've overturned all that. That happened this summer. The latest case that we are waiting on to hear, and we've heard unofficially that has already been heard and decided on, is the Brunson brothers case. For those of you who don't know, the Brunson brothers are trumpet players like Donald Trump. Like, Trump is the Trump card that's trumping the deep state. Like, he is the trumpet in Zion, blowing or sounding the shofar, sounding the alarm on all of the wickedness that's been going on in our reality for thousands of years. The trumpet players brought a case against Joseph Robinette Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and 385 members of Congress, and said that they have posed as a threat to our nation. They made our country vulnerable, and they are a security breach to our nation because they've allowed millions of illegal aliens to come into our country, to take the resources, take welfare programs, take thousands and tens of thousands of dollars, absorb the resources, take jobs from our country, and vote unlawfully, because they could go vote and not have to show their ID. And you know what? God always allowed me to see certain things. I actually had a friend. I knew he was from Haiti. Okay. I didn't know his predicament. I'm just thinking, you went to college here. We all know each other. Hey, I love you. You love me. We're just friends, We, have a group of friends. We all love each other. Came to find out, boy, I don't hope he's not upset with me for saying it, but he was like really, really nervous that he was going to get deported. And then that's when he let me know that he was here illegally, had gone to college, had gotten all kind of benefits, money to go to college, good job, never was a lawful citizen, and had to pull some strings to be able to stay here. And I've met many people who have told me they just crossed the border. No big deal, they said, Kia. Oh, and all they have to do, some of them, in order to get a mortgage or a loan to buy their house, is to present a transcript from college, not graduate from college, not show proof of good credit, not show proof of income,
Just show your transcript that you were participating in college, and they get a very low interest rate loan to buy a house. I was told this by a top producing mortgage lender in the state of Kentucky. Some of them can get degrees all the way up to a law degree. Look up in the state of California, undocumented students can get a law degree from a major institution of higher education in the state of California. But that's not it. In many of our states, they could get housing to go to college. Scholarships, no loans, scholarships. And if they got loans, it's low interest bearing loans, mentors, counselors, advisors, all type of things. Daycare. How do you know, Dr. Pruitt? Because I have a PhD in education and counseling psychology with an emphasis in higher education and college student personnel, which means I've worked for many institutions of higher education where we have undocumented student offices that help the undocumented students get every benefit that they need. Now, I'm all for helping everybody, but I also am for, first and foremost, America first. So the Brunson brothers brought a lawsuit against Joseph Robinette Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and 385 members of Congress, and said that they have posed as a security breach here and also knowingly allowed for some tampering with the elections in 2020 and 2022. And if in fact it has been found that this is the case, then all of the people that I just mentioned have to have all their credentials stripped, have their assets frozen, and they may never serve again and be dealt with at Guantanamo Bay. So we have heard that the case has been heard and ruled in favor of the Brunson brothers. So that's one way Joseph Biden can be removed, like right now, like tomorrow, like Monday, like within the next couple of days, because the Brunson case will totally make that whole administration null and void. And Donald Trump is the president-elect. So some people have said, well, the Democrats can just put Kamala Harris in if they remove Biden, because both the Democrats and the Republicans are calling for the removal of Biden, not necessarily because of the Brunson case. It just happens that all this is happening at the same time, but because Biden is instigating a World War III by calling on the Ukrainians to strike Russia. And because of his actions, the Democrats are saying, like, you're not fit, you're senile, you're going through a lot of things, you're too old, you need to step away. And the Republicans are saying, not only are you senile and, you need to step away because you're doing all kind of crazy stuff, but we know behind the scenes that the case that has been brought against you has been determined and ruled in favor of the Brunson brothers. So all of this will enable him to step down. Now, they could try to put Kamala Harris in front if they want to, but there's too many people that are against Kamala Harris. Plus, she's not lawfully fit to serve. I've gone over many, many times why she's not lawfully fit to serve. But quickly, it's because our founding fathers framed the laws for anybody who wants to run as president that says that you have to be natural born here in America and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So it's about proximity, where you were born, and it's about allegiance, subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Are you subject to the jurisdiction of this republic and of the state in which you were allegedly born? Is your allegiance to this country? Well, according to the way the forefathers framed your qualifications for presidency, both of your parents, if you're not natural, first of all, you have to be natural born, which means that you sprung from this country, okay? But both of your parents should also be from here. Well, since her parents are from other countries, number one, and neither one of them were naturalized here. They weren't even citizens of no kind. She was an anchor baby. That means her allegiance is to the nativity of her father and her mother. And if you want to fact check me, just look up John Eastman. He is a constitutional law expert. Eastman, Eastman, from California. He says the same thing. She's not lawfully fit to serve. It's not lawful. She's not from America. we've come to find out she wasn't really born in Oakland, California. But even if she were, her parents are not from America, which means she cannot be the president, because if your parents are not from here, then that means your allegiance is to the nativity in a country of your parents. She's native born, means she came from somewhere else. Even if she were born in Oakland, her bloodline came from somewhere else. That's native born, not natural born. Now, we'll talk about natural born in a whole nother podcast, because a lot of these presidents are not natural born from America, but that's a whole nother discussion. But not only did she allegedly not come from Oakland, California, but there's some new evidence that supports that she may not even be from Indian. Her mom may not be Indian. Her dad may not really be Jamaican. It's a whole mess. So they can actually bring the law in and say she's not fit to serve. And I don't think they want to do that. But my overall point is there's enough evidence to support that Biden should be and can be and probably will be removed. Now, I don't know if they'll do that, because it is November. We're almost in January, but I'm telling you, it could very well happen, especially when you see the Republicans and the Democrats officially announce and call for the removal of Biden, not only officially, but on television. So we know they're preparing for something. Peace, love, and light. Happy Friday. Yay, Sister Pamela. I don't want to keep you on too long. Texas, no moon, but it was big last night. Hi, Jess. She says, Jess, are you a guy? Hi, Jess. Jess says, I saw planes sitting and following each other. Wow, but no moon in Katy, Texas. Thank you, Jess. The sky is dark. No moon, Maureen Marshall Jeffrey says. It's midnight. Your time, Sunshine Gold says. Hi from Canada. Love from Mother Price in the house. Send Mother some love, family. Go star Mother Susan Price. All the love from South Africa. Clear, no moon tonight, but there was last night. Thank you, Pamela. Where are you hailing from? Josie says, thank you from Bay Area in California. California. Hi, Josie. No moon in Tennessee. I'm telling y'all, hi, Cha-Cha. No moon in Las Vegas. No moon in Arizona. Hi, Lorenzo. I see all the dippers in North Star, but the moon should be high. What's going on? Serena says. No moon. Sky Prince, med beds have been released. All right. We don't have to wait for the RV for med beds. That's right. Snowing in South Carolina mountains. Wow. Hello. I didn't know it was snowing already. Who is that? Cameron's Tech Advice says aloha from Hawaii. Legendary Simone is in the house from California. Nope, not California. Where were you from? Legendary is from Toronto, Canada. Canada's in the house. No moon in California, touched by Japan says. No moon in North Florida. Y'all hear me? Hi, Gary. Gary's talking about Onassis. Some see two moons. Where do they see two moons? Because everybody's checking in saying no moon. Yesterday, I saw a half moon at 10 a.m., Cha-Cha says. Wow. I see possibly Jupiter, Serena says. All the stars and no moon yet. Keep checking in. Let us know. The big hole, Omaha, Nebraska's in the house. Hi, Sherman. Sherman is a great supporter. He follows me on all my social media platforms, so I'm grateful to see you here. Why was he taken from his mother? John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. Actually, his mom, Jacqueline Kennedy, married Onassis for protection. But remember, they took out Onassis too. So she paid the Hells Angels to protect her son. And he was put into protective custody. But he wasn't taken from his mom. She paid the Hells Angels to take from it. Both she and he were in protective custody. Both, that's the story. Both his mom, Jackie Kennedy, was in protective custody because they took out Onassis. He's a bloodline family, and they took him out so they could steal his money and his identity, and they replaced him. So she was in protective custody, and he was, but she knew how the deep state runs, right? She's a bloodline family member. They know how the government gets down. So she paid the Hells Angels to protect him while he was in protective custody. because she feared for her life. She knew they were going to come after her too. So that's why they took her out, because she was married to Kennedy. She would be next in line to receive his inheritance. So in order to take that money, they had to take her out. And so for some reason, they kept him alive, but they still took him through a lot of water shedding, waterboarding, I think they call SA or actual assault. A lot of ritualistic abuse, anal penetration. You know, I hate to say it, MK Ultra mind control. And another thing they do with the children there, they make them like shoot people, unalive people. They'll put guns to their head and say, do this to a child or to this person, or else we'll take you out, or we'll take out your sister. And he details in his book. I'll let you read the book called Stolen Identity for yourself, because I don't want to ruin it for you. But it's a travesty, all the things that they do to these children in Hollywood. And John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. told me and he told us, did he tell us? He told me, and then he says in his book that while he was in protective custody, you know, they would sexually assault him. And one time they put something over his head, like a bag, and they're beating him and beating him. They're mutilating him. They're sexually abusing him. He don't know what's going on, why they're doing this to him. They take him to this undisclosed location. He doesn't know why they're doing this, but this is like an everyday occurrence. You know, something is happening to him. And then they drop him off in a bathtub, I think he said, and somebody starts punching him. And, you know, he doesn't know why. And he's hearing all these people shouting. And when they took the bag off his face, it was Denzel Washington punching him in the face in a movie scene. So this is his story. Okay, I'm just telling you. This was a movie scene, and they used him as a prompt in a movie scene. So a lot of these abuses we see in movies where they're beating people, cutting people, shooting people, having XA with people is real. And they put that in front of you so that you can emit and you can experience certain emotions. And when you experience fear by watching these movies, angst, any type of trauma or psychological experiences, you emit a psychic energy called loosh, Loosh. When you emit loosh, those beings that are in power, those interdimensional beings that are actually running Hollywood, running mainstream media, controlling and running the government, those entities eat and feed off that loosh, like the energy, like food. Like you eat food, they eat energy. Also, when you're emitting loosh, you're easy to be controlled. You can more easily be controlled because you're not in your so-called right state of mind. So John F. Kennedy Jr. tells us all kinds of stories and things that he's been through. And, you know, I loved watching certain things. I'm not really a big television watcher. I don't watch a lot of movies. In fact, my Morris brother who called me tonight was like, I can see you don't watch any movies, because every time I ask you if you've seen this movie, you've seen that movie, you always say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. It's because my mom raised us without television. But I have seen some movies, and I always thought that some of these actors are really, really good actors. And what we've been told is, you know, they go through a lot of trauma too in the training for these characters that they play. And they actually tap into other beings, and they will tell you they have alter egos. Now, let me tell you something briefly about an alter ego. One way of getting an alter ego is through anal penetration, because when they go through the anal cavity, I noticed because I was an 8th grade counselor, a great counselor, and when in my late 20s, early 30s in the state of West Virginia. So I have a lot of education in counseling, psychology, and all that type of things. So as a actual counselor, or a great counselor, you learn about trauma. Anal penetration actually opens up a portal. And when they open up those portals, you're allowing certain entities to enter those portals through anal XA. What happens to the brain is that your brain starts to fragment itself into different pieces and into what some psychologists would call multiple personalities, but different fragments of the brain, just they kind of compartmentalize or fracture so that you can cope with that type of trauma and pain. And so what these elite people do is they enter the anal cavity, then all of these entities come into your being, your brain fragments, you try to cope with that type of deep trauma, and you actually develop other personalities. And when they get you in this emotional state, they can then program you with certain messages, and then they will send you on missions to different presidents to give certain messages, or to different prelates all over the world to give messages. And they will also send you to be a XA slave, SEX slave to somebody else. And in order for you to cope, you actually become another person or have a alter ego. All starts through anal penetration. And as I was talking about that on my podcast, and I I was kind of careful to say it because I know it could trigger my guests. And so this is a trigger warning. And if this is too much for you, family, then please log off. I'll only be one more minute on that subject. I'm so sorry I didn't warn you. JFK Jr. actually agreed with me. That's what happens. So I would say, there's a lot of things that go on sexually that people are doing right now because they watch too much pornography. So I'm going to encourage you to stop watching pornography if you do it, or if you're addicted, try your best to stop, just wean yourself off however you can, because, you become sexually perverted and you start wanting to see and experience those things, and you want to bring it to your bedroom with your spouse, and, your spouse may not be able to perform all those tricks. Okay. And then you become unsatisfied. And then I've heard some male counselors and professionals that are trying to help some of our brothers of all races to get away from it, say that a lot of them men can't sexually perform because they become so entrenched in pornography, and it becomes a problem in their marriage. And they say a lot of men that do cheat do it because they're insatiated in pornography and they cannot be satisfied. Their wives can't do all these tricks and all these things that a lot of these porn actors do. So again, these people in Hollywood, some of them are forced to do pornographic things at home because their handlers do it to them. Some of their handlers are their own parents, but you gotta know that some of their parents aren't their real parents. And according to many detectives and sheriffs, and I noticed for a fact, there's a sheriff in Polk County that said the same thing. He supports my thesis, and that many of the people in the porn industry that some of you who watch that see on TV are actually child sex trafficked victims and sex trafficked female victims. So, when I talk about sex trafficking, some of them are forced to do this. Many of them are, or they've been groomed to do this. So you don't want to participate in something that is unhealthy and traumatizing for a lot of the people that are in that industry. So let me show you. Go to Amazon.com and look at Stolen Identity. Unveiling the Real John F. K. Jr. is the subtitle. It's $19.95 right now, the paper copy of that book. And then there is a hardcover copy of the book, and this is what it looks like. This is John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., also known as David Quigley. That's the name that they gave him when he was in protective custody. So he's been going under David Quigley for many years. He came out and told his story, and he's suffered a lot of backlash of the deep state. And he tell you in his book, and he told me too, they will make sure you don't have a job because they control everything. They will take away your money. And I told you the day before he was to come on my show, his son was unalived, his only son. They make it hard for him to tell his story because they've taken away all of his social media. Then he'll create another social media. They'll take that away. He'll create another one. They only do that to certain people that they see as a threat. They've taken away 7 of my YouTube channel. They took one away, I come up with another. They take that away, I come up with another. And all the way up to the 7th channel, they even took away my 7th channel. I had no channels. I've even had problems on Rumble, which is supposed to be a patriotic channel for for people to be able to have free speech. You guys know I've had trouble on Twitter. I've been banned from TikTok several times, permanently banned, but I just create another channel, another account. And on Twitter, I had issues before Elon Musk bought it. And I've had problems with Facebook. And you guys have had problems on social media too, so that's nothing new. This is John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. The JFK Jr. that we know is supposed to be Aristotle Onassi's son. Right. The one that you guys have come to see and know, the dark-haired guy that allegedly was the one who passed in on the, was it an airplane or a jet? I can't remember which one. I think it was an airplane. That was Aristotle Onassi's son with his mistress Maria. What's a Maria Callas? Let's see, Maria Opera Center. What was her name? Maria Callas. So if you look at the JFK Jr. that they put in front of our faces that passed away in that plane accident, you look at him real good. He looks Greek because his daddy's Greek, allegedly. Aristotle Onassis is Greek. And look at his mom. This is the mistress. Now, it is now known that Aristotle Onassis had a mistress, and this is she, while he was married with Jackie Kennedy Onassis. Well, he was a billionaire. They have mistresses, what they do. In fact, it just came out that they're trying to create a movie about her, and they weren't start talking about her until JFK Jr. came out and started talking about her. But allegedly, that's the mom. And if you think about it, Aristotle Onassis' son with Maria Callas, how do you spell her name? Her name is Callas. He published a magazine called George because his real name is George. So they tell us what's going on. Jackson, Tennessee. Hi, Sister Valeda. She says, no moon, only stars in Jackson, Tennessee. Yes, poor. It's a harsh story, JFK Jr. story. It's also becoming cold and temperatures dropped tonight. I agree with that, Serena. It became very cold here. Like it was in the mid 70s and all of a sudden it just dropped to the 60s and now to the 50s. And now it's 46 degrees here in Jacksonville, Florida. No moon in Arkansas. Keep checking in. It's cloudy, so I don't notice if there's a moon or not where I am. Anna says, could there be triplets? Oh, yes, ma'am. There could be triplets. The JFK Jr., yes, there could be triplets. Jr. was born before JFK was assassinated. Which Jr.? I have a good view of north, east, west, and south. Still no moon, Sister Serena says. Thank you. Wow. Maria Callas was the name of, thank you, the George, also known as JFK, the fake one. His mom's name was Maria Callas. Thank you. The moon is in the waning gibbous phase, meaning the illuminated side of the moon is facing away from the earth towards the sun, making it hard to see, according to Google. Thank you, Golden. No moon in West Palm Beach, Florida. Good evening, Hamilton. Hi, Nancy. It's good to see you. Josie said, hi, Josie Morgado. I asked a couple of truthers online about JFK Jr. and shared David Quigley's YouTube channel. Both said the truth will not be revealed until the public disclosures take place. Thank you for sharing that with us, Josie. Temperatures are 56 degrees, which is very unusual for us, G. Monet says. I don't see the moon here in Texas. Thank you, B-Mo. Somebody got the moon in their hands right now, Curtis Scott says. Moon is not visible in Orlando, Florida. Wow. Hello, Sister Belinda in Austin, Texas. Hello, Australia. Master Caesar says, I'm outside of Atlanta. The sky is clear, full of stars, but no moon. Wow. No YouTube celebrities were involved in any of this. A Jewel Ross says, I guess no YouTube celebrities were involved in any of this. No moon in Central Texas. What does it mean? Well, we're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. No moon, moon as in Mooney, money. See how they correlate with each other? Okay, we noticed this on November 22nd. We noticed it this evening, and November 22nd, before it turned midnight. We were looking in the sky. I asked the question, does anybody see a moon? I asked on my social media. Nobody saw the moon. Okay. So what we are asserting is that we do know that today, on November 22nd, was the 61st anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr. The reason why they wanted to assassinate him, the deep state, now he's bloodline family, but he didn't want to go along with the nefarious faction of the bloodline. They're the ones that put him in place as the president, right? They tell you what to do. They're handlers, okay? He said there is a plot to enslave every man, woman, and child in America. And before I leave this high noble office, I will expose this plot. There is a plot to enslave every man, woman, and child. But before I leave this high noble office, I will expose this plot, is what JFK Sr. said. He also wanted to return us to the republic and to return us to our sovereignty and to return us to constitutional law, where silver and gold are money. Before he could do any of that, they unalived him. And then they mocked him by putting him on the $50 coin. Oh, here's your little, when you want to return them to the gold and silver standard. Now, I got clarity from my brother who called me tonight. It's like, do you see a moon in the sky? Like, no, I don't see a moon in the sky. So we start vibing and talking to each other. And, I've been telling you guys that this is a very special time. We're in the age of Aquarius, and that the 22nd was the anniversary of the assassination of JFK Jr. So something could probably happen. So we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. It looks like they're going to do something, and we're wondering if they're going to announce an official return to silver and gold as Mooney or as money during the time we don't see a moon. We're just trying to figure it all out. Also, again, this is the age of Aquarius. I don't know are they going to reintroduce the moon? Is this it for the moon, or is it just what gone now? Like, are they removing it for a reason, like doing some work on the moon? I don't know. But I just thought it was interesting that we don't see it right now on the anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. And if you pay attention to a lot of the people, even in mainstream media, that are talking right now, they will bring up JFK Jr. It's almost like they want us to know that. Now, when they bring up, no, they won't bring up. They're bringing up, JFK Sr. So almost like they want us to know that Trump is doing the same thing that JFK Sr. did. Return us back to the republic. Return us back to silver and gold as money. But you guys tell me what you think. Oh, Ruben says, please check out my last comment above. Okay, Ruben. I don't see it. I'm looking for it. I don't see it, Ruben. I'll keep looking. You got to cut. Oh, I got cut out when I was talking about how they control Whitney. So Whitney Houston, you guys know her. She was an entertainer and a singer, had a child when she was a teenager. She was allegedly, according to reports and rumors, assaulted, and she had a child. And the people in power, her handlers in the music industry, took the child because, for one, they didn't want her image to be tarnished as a young single mom, teenage mom, when she was the angel, right? They came out singing beautiful love ballads, beautiful songs. She brought in a high vibrational frequency of love and joy and fun into our reality. So they took her child, her eldest child, whose name is Rena, and they sold her into the industry. The the child trafficking industry. And they do this through CPS and other agencies that are not government agencies. CPS is the major and probably the number one child trafficking agency, where they come in and take your kids away from you, and they say you're an unfit parent. They'll tell you they're going to train you and you'll get your child back. But what's happening to your child while they're in a system? A lot of times they're getting assaulted. They took Rena from her mom, gave her to a fake family, just like JFK Jr. was given to the Quigleys, and they told her when she was a baby, this is your mom and dad. Now, she had some memories of another mother, but she didn't put the pieces of the puzzle together that it was Whitney Houston until Whitney came to her, and I think in about 2012, right before she passed. She found her daughter and revealed to her, I'm your mom, and had conversations with her, and I've seen, I haven't seen pictures of them together. I've seen pictures of Rena when she was a child, pictures of her now. I've seen pictures of her at her mother's gravesite, because Sissy Houston, who was not her real mother, but she was one of her handlers, allegedly, allowed her to go to the funeral. I've seen notarized statements and documents from people who claim to have seen Whitney on the site when she was there at her daughter's apartment complex looking for Rena as an adult in 2016. So Whitney Houston's daughter was taken away from her, sold into trafficking, child sex trafficking, given parents. And while she was with these parents, she was going through all type of abuse, like sexual assault, mutilation, trauma. She has a chip put inside of her. By the way, I met one of Elvis's daughters that went through the same thing. Same thing happened to her. When she had her children were molested. And she's like, why is all this happening to me in these people's houses, and they're supposed to be my family? And then she would wonder, if this is my real family, why are they selling me off, the family that they put her in, to be great by these other people? And why am I going to all these other homes? Why would my own mother do this to me? So Rena wrote a book about her trauma that she experienced, and her book did very well in Europe, didn't do too well here. So she just kept writing books about it. And one of Whitney Houston, her mama's handlers, got the book, showed it to Whitney, and said, your daughter is alive, but look at the trauma she's experiencing, because they were trying to mess with her mind. Look at the trauma she's experienced. She doesn't even know you live. She's wondering where you are. She hates you, and they were like traumatizing her. And somehow Whitney got a hold of that book once she figured out the name of it. And it just so happened that when Rena wrote the book, and back in the day, you would write a book and you would actually put the author's information on the inside of the flap, on the back. I don't know if you guys know that. The back of the book, the inside of the back cover, the author would used to put their publication, who published them, their names, and an address, a mailing address. And I know because I'm an author. And I took journalism and writing in English and all that in undergrad. I got my undergrad in social sciences, but I did study to be a writer. And so it just so happened that Rena, her daughter, left her contact information in the book. And so Whitney contacted her daughter, went to see her in Missouri. She drove from California, wherever she was. I can't remember if she was in California, if she was in New Jersey, because she's from New Jersey, I believe. And she met her daughter, had conversations with her, brought Bobby Christina. And allegedly, this is the story. And Rena has told her story. You can even see in the National Enquirer, Rena's story is in there. But it's the same story that John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. told me. Let's see if I can see that. Whitney has a secret daughter. Since you asked, I just want to show you. I'm looking at the National Enquirer. Now, National Enquirer is not a necessarily a legitimate publication, but it is a publication that used to deal with Hollywood celebrities. I hope they didn't take it out. National Enquirer, Whitney's secret daughter. There used to be an article that says Whitney Houston's secret daughter speaks or something like that. So you can Google it at your own leisure. I'm trying to find it. Whitney Houston, secret daughter. They're only talking about Bobby Christina now. But I have it somewhere. And when I find it, I'll put it in my community section of my YouTube channel. Whitney Houston, secret daughter. I'm looking at it again. National Enquiry. So once you start talking about, these things, sometimes they'll take them from the internet, especially when I talk about stuff, because I talk about things people don't talk about online. They may not know about it, or they just don't talk about it. Here's the article right here. And I'm not going to keep you all too long. NationalEnquirer.com. Whitney Houston's secret daughter, shocking claims. Sent away at birth, and with a document she says proves it. This was published June 19, 2018, 13:34 p.m. I believe that's 1:34 p.m. military time. Whitney Houston gave birth to a secret daughter, and a 36-year-old Missouri woman making the claims has a legally stamped document she said proves they are related. Catch up more on Whitney here. There's a link there. Oh, man, I don't see the rest of the story. It used to be a whole story. Maybe it's here. I'm going to click on this link. Well, they don't tell us more info in that article. Nope. But you can see that they talked about it in the National Enquirer. Then there was a woman by the name of Essie Berry, who was married to a guy whose character was called Rerun in a sitcom called What's Happening and What's Happening Now. Essie Berry was a wife of the main character, and she actually did many interviews with Whitney Houston's secret daughter, Rena, who now is in Missouri. That's where she was trafficked. So in those interviews, it came out, that, who was it? Leola Brown admitted that she heard that Whitney had a secret daughter. You might even be able to find that online. Leola Brown is the sister of Bobby Brown, who Whitney Houston was later married to and had Bobby Christina by. Leola Brown admitted that she heard that Whitney she said, I heard Whitney had a secret daughter, and if it's true, I want to do everything I can to help her. Well, she did know, allegedly, according to Rena, that she existed, because she actually reached out to Rena later on in life, and Rena had a relationship with her. See if I can find that. So these are all the people's story that I've come to know. And so I'm just sharing this with you to let you know that there are a lot of nefarious things that have been going on in Hollywood with these deep state actors and actresses. Once you are in a bloodline family, you can't get out. Blood in, blood out. Okay. And they were forced to do a lot of things, and many of their children were taken away from them and sold into the sex trafficking industry, so that these handlers can further control the people that they were using to control us through mind manipulation. They are lying to us all, says subscribers. These influencers are purposely trying to target y'all to cause chaos in your lives. Look up Stargate. This is what they are doing. These readers are working for the CIA and Department of Justice. Wow. Thank you so much. 10:15 p.m. in Utah. No moon either. Thank you. Keul, is that how you say your name? Kheul says there's no moon in Utah. Somebody says, who's an agent for the government? Who is she? Say the name. I think Whitney is in protective custody. I hope so, Ali. That would be so wonderful. There's no moon where Jimmy Floyd is. Patrick Humphrey is reporting on many cities that are on lockdown Phoenix Rising said, "Are you serious?" Phoenix Rising said, "I just saw on YouTube, Patrick Humphrey is reporting on many cities that are on lockdown. If they start locking down your cities, then you know it's time. It's go time. You know they're preparing to make major announcements about what's been going on behind the scenes in the so-called government, in mainstream media, and in Hollywood. You may hear an emergency broadcast system announcement that will overtake your phone and your computer and your radios and television, letting you know this is an emergency. This is a presidential alert system or a military alert system. It's an emergency. It's an emergency. And you will hear a loud buzzing noise, and you'll be glued to most likely whatever device that came from, where they will then let you know what's been going on. And either somebody that represents the military will speak, or President Donald Trump will speak and let us know that the lockdown is related to something like the removal of Joseph Biden, or they might say our country is at stake, or is vulnerable to some type of war threat. I don't know what they're going to say, but we've heard many, many times, especially if you study history, that before they usher in a new system and before they usher in a new monetary system, they always first do some type of black swan event. A black swan event is like an event that is something that's usually unheard of, that maybe happens once every hundreds or thousands of years. Like, you very rarely see a black swan. Okay. So a black swan event is a major event that you rarely ever see or heard, like the lockdown, like the global pandemic that shut down the world. They usually do something huge like that in order to completely take down their system or change their system. That is in alignment with how they move from one monetary system to another at the end of every empire. At the end of every empire, they print as much money as they can. They rack up the debt. They buy themselves resources, and then they crash that monetary system and go back to a sound monetary system, i.e. the gold standard monetary system. That's called the crack up boom. Print up a lot of money, rack up the debt, rack up the credit, crash the system, go to a new system. We're at the end of a system. So thank you, Phoenix Rising, for giving us this information, family. When you get up in the morning, I would encourage you to get some food, get some water, maybe some beans and rice, canned goods, or things that you can preserve if you haven't already, because most of us are prepared at some level. Any supplies you might need, any cash out of the bank, any coins out of the bank. You want to make sure you have low denominations in your dollars too, and coins. And if you have time, get some constitutional silver or junk silver or regular silver bullion. And the reason why you would want to do that is because merchants recognize constitutional silver as money. All merchants understand, understand that constitutional silver is money. So you want to have that on hand, or just have some dollars and quarters. And that's if you are inclined to do so, because you don't want to be getting things at the last minute, like toilet paper. You want to make sure you have all that, flashlights, candles, not to cause any alarm. But we just saw Phoenix Rising say that Patrick Humphreys is reporting that many cities are on lockdown. So why don't we Google it? Let's see, cities on lockdown in America today. I don't see any Google right now, but that doesn't mean anything, because Google often tells us things at the last minute. Let's see, cities on lockdown. Let's see, 2024. They could also come up with, a new version of COVID-K, of the sickness that shut down the world in 2020. Now, in August, they were northeastern towns issue voluntary lockdowns to prevent the spread of that sickness, but that was in August. Okay, here, let me show you something that just came out November the 19th. This 2021, 22, that was 4 days ago. Thank you for that information, Phoenix. I'm going to show you this. Thank you for 699 people being in the chat. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and send the video to your friends and family members. Current epidemic trends based on the RT for states. When was this published? Here we go. 4 states, FCA and NCIRD, estimate the time-varying reproductive number. The RT, a measure that helps quickly assess whether infections are increasing or decreasing. This helps public health practitioners prepare and respond. Here are epidemic trends. We estimate the time-varying reproductive number, a measure of transmission based on data from incident emergency department visits. Okay, let me go scroll down. COVID-19. As of November 19, 2024, we estimate that the CV-19 infections are growing or likely growing in 8 states, declining or likely declining in 15 states, and not changing in 25 states. So you can see the states where they are growing are here in purple. New York, that's no mystery, right? And in the certain areas, we know that they would do it there. New York, if they say is growing there, the CV is growing allegedly in Illinois. And I keep telling you, there's a specific bloodline that they're trying to target. JFK Jr. just sent me a heart, says all love, sister. Thank you, JFK. I love you. Illinois, there's a bloodline they're targeting in Chicago. We do know that the records for Egypt, I think my Moorish brother told me, are stored in Illinois. Egypt being the Cairo, Egypt. The records, I think he said the records for Egypt, the Egyptian Empire, the American Egyptian Empire, because Egypt is here in America, are stored in Indiana. And I keep saying they want that bloodline there. That's why they keep putting drugs and guns in the Chicago community. And that's why they keep encouraging the young melanated men to unalive each other. And there have been police reports. They also call Chicago Chirac, like Chicago, Iraq, because it's like a war-torn area in many communities of melanated people. There are people from there, some of which I know very closely, that say they know for a fact that police agents are putting guns and drugs in their communities. And some of them were unaliving some of the people there and blaming it on some of the gang members. And some of the gang members were taking each other out. So there's a bloodline they're going after here. The epidemic is growing also here in Utah, Arizona. Tell me what the correlation is between these states. New York. Did I see New Jersey? No, it's just New York. New York here. Illinois. Oh, look. Illinois. I thought I saw Indiana. Indiana, yep. Trends are growing there. Kentucky. Tennessee, right at the tip, right before you get to Tennessee. That whole area is Egypt. Utah, Arizona. Okay. The epidemic trends are growing. Likely growing is in Kansas, New Mexico, Texas. I don't know if that means anything. Not changing in all this area here. Not likely declining. South Carolina, West Virginia, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, Nebraska, Idaho. That was likely and declining in the area. The epidemic is declining in North Carolina. Then they just had some type of, they had a catastrophe in North Carolina recently. So as the epidemic trends are declining there, and in Alabama and in Washington. Not estimated in Wisconsin, Missouri, and Wyoming. Okay, CV trends. As of November 19, 2024, we estimate that influenza infections are growing or likely growing in 28 states, declining or likely declining in one state and not changing in 12 states. Influenza is growing in New York, of course, Massachusetts area, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Kansas, and this whole western region here, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Wow, where it's growing, epidemic, influenza. So are they preparing for something? I don't know. But this lets us know at least they're collecting data for some reason. I'm just very grateful that you told me that Patrick Humphrey. So you guys go look for Patrick Humphrey on YouTube and see what he's saying about many cities shutting down and Outlook too. Do you know what Patrick Humphrey's channel is? Oh, it's his name. It goes by his name. Here it is. Look, family, alert. Yes, let me show you. Okay, we're going to bring him up. It'd be really nice to get him on the show, wouldn't it? So if you go to Patrick Humphrey on YouTube, this is his channel. 3 hours ago, he had 2007 views. It says, alert, multiple U.S. cities go into lockdown. Police set up checkpoints to enter. Patrick, I hope you don't mind me showing a clip from your podcast, but we want to know what's going on. Hold on. I'm gonna share it with you guys.
Certain people and individuals out. This is now being announced inside the US, multiple major cities. Let's get into the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit that like and hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on this big urgent news, and it just helps to get these warnings out. I appreciate that. So this is now being announced in Denver, in Los Angeles, and also Chicago. The authorities there, the mayors there, are saying that they are going to send the police to the borders of their city and set up checkpoints to keep out federal agents and ICE agents that are a part of the Trump administration. That is what they're saying. This is a quote from the Denver mayor. It says, more than just having the Denver police station at the county line to keep them out, we will also have 50,000 Denverites there. He said it's like the Tiananmen Square moment with the rose and the gun, right? And you'd have every one of those Highland moms who came out for the migrants, and you don't want to mess with them. All right, so he's saying he's going to send police and set up checkpoints to keep ICE and federal agents out of the city. Okay, so it's kind of ironic that he's setting up internal checkpoints inside of his own states when he supports the federal government's borders to be wide open. So he wants to keep certain people out of Denver, but he wants the United States to be wide open. So that's what's happening in Denver. Also, the Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, announced a very similar plan as well, too, and they just voted to be a official sanctuary city. This is also being planned inside of Chicago right now as well, too, and the Illinois governor has also backed the plans as well. So this is spreading. We could see more major U.S. cities come to a standoff. And I want you to listen to this really quick, too. This is the Denver mayor, and he is actually sending people that show up in Denver to Utah. All right, the Utah governor had to come out and say, stop sending people that arrive in Denver to Utah. Stop busing people over here across state lines. That is what the Utah governor was telling the Denver mayor. So he's also shipping people out as well, too. He's sending people to other cities and other states, but he doesn't want to allow the federal government to remove these criminals that have a final removal order from ICE. So let me know what you think of this below. And listen to this really quick. This is a report on the Denver mayor sending these people over to Utah.
So it sounds like they are locking down several cities in order to keep agents out who are trying to protect the borders. That's what it sounds like so far. I'm listening to him talk, but I'm also looking at your comments as well because I don't want to miss anything that you all are saying. Some of you trying to get my attention. So I want to go ahead and let you listen to a few more minutes and then we'll wrap up the podcast.
Border crisis overwhelming even self-declared sanctuary cities across the U.S. Denver's mayor is now taking criticism tonight for shipping migrants out of the state after declaring his city a sanctuary for immigrants. Utah's GOP governor wants the policy to end. Senior correspondent Alicia Acuna reports tonight from Denver.
Utah Governor Republican Spencer Cox is demanding the sanctuary city of Denver stop sending illegal immigrants to his state. A city official confirming to Fox News in the last 18 months, Denver has purchased about 2,000 bus and plane tickets to Salt Lake City and has sent immigrants to every state in the country, insisting they do not push them to specific locations, but to, quote, where they may have support networks or job opportunities. Governor Cox says his state can offer migrants neither. On X, posting, Utah's resources are completely depleted. His office later telling us they didn't find out about Denver's plan until mid-May. Democrat Denver Mayor Mike Johnston's office insists it's been incredibly transparent in managing the 42,000 immigrants who've arrived there since Texas Governor Greg Abbott began busing them to sanctuary cities. In December, the mayors of Chicago and Denver said they were overwhelmed.
So I'm going to pause right there because I don't want to play his whole video, because I want to protect his intellectual property. But thank you for showing that to us or letting us know that this gentleman was, making that announcement so that we can prepare just in case our city gets shut down. There's many reasons why they could be shutting down cities. This could be something, a white hat operation, or it could be the faction of the so-called elite that are still alive, and many of them have been taken out of here that are trying to get the city shut down. But we do know that even if the deep state issues out an announcement to shut down certain cities and states, that the white hats will use that as an opportunity to continue on with their mass arrests. And I'll tell you how I know that in a minute. But before I do that, I just want to tell Brother Gary, thank you so much. You gave me an offering of $100. That's awesome. That's amazing. God bless you. Heaven smile on you is my prayer. I am honored and very grateful. Gary says, stay in prayer, people, more than ever. Now more than ever, we need to stay in prayer and we need to command divine justice to occur right now and to command global peace right now. We can also command prosperity and abundance to be brought upon all the people all across the planet, because we need this to happen during our time. But I guess what's most pressing right now is peace, because the so-called president that's in power is trying to initiate World War III. Now, we happen to know that whole timeline has already been neutralized, and there will not be a World War III that will be allowed to happen on our timeline. We've already entered the age of Aquarius. The planet is already ascending into 5D. Some of you are already in the fourth dimension. That's why a lot of things that's going on in the world affecting a lot of people doesn't affect you. You're not upset that Trump won. You're not living in anxiety. You're not living in perpetual fear. Okay, your timeline has joy and you're thriving. You might not be thriving to the point or the level that you want to be, but you're in 4D on your way up to 5D. This is the age of Aquarius, family. Okay, so listen to this. This is what my brother sent me. My brother who's a Moor, who encourages me, and we like bouncing things off of each other. And he studies a lot. He understands a lot of the coded messages. He says, also, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and by the way, you guys are correcting me in the comment section. You guys are saying I said JFK Jr. was assassinated, but I was wrong. It was JFK Sr. So thank you for the correction. That was a mishap. I didn't mean to say that. JFK Sr. was assassinated 61 years ago on November the 22nd. Also, JFK Sr. was the first president to pardon anything. He started with pardoning a turkey for Thanksgiving. Turks are likely associated with the Muslim people of the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman is the birthplace of the Fez of the Moors. The president that turned pardons into a tradition was the 41st president, George Herbert Walker Bush. Thank you. And we know that according to those study astrology, is it astrology or astronomy, 41. Did you say 41 represent means king? Somebody told me, I think. The president that turned pardons into a tradition was the 41st president, George Herbert Walker Bush. Thank you. So thank you, Brother Gary, for the blessing. And if anybody desires to bless me, you can send me a Cash App. Some people have been sending me Cash Apps. Let me shout you out right now at $ Mama Kia 13. That's $ MAMA KIA 13. Now let me say thank you appropriately to the last people that I didn't mention a couple days ago. Chief Mac, thank you so much for blessing me. Willie Sims, thank you. Hersandra, thank you. Estrelita, thank you. Cameron, thank you so much for the Cash App. Barbara, thank you. Brother Rodney, thank you so much. Sister Gwendolyn, God bless you. I will maintain. Thank you so much. To all of you who support me with prayers, encouragement, letters, email, text, private messages, direct messages, and monetary blessings. I appreciate you, and may the Creator bless you 100 or bliss you 100-fold and give you everything that your heart desires. Somebody says, I bought gold and silver coins, bars 2 years ago for safekeeping. Excellent, Brother Roderick. Gary Simmons says the new moon is December the 1st, and that's just in 2 weeks? And if anybody wants to buy silver and gold, I was working very relentlessly and selling silver and gold before, but I have since slowed down a lot since my social media platforms were taken away from me. But first, I recommend you go into your local area because you can have your silver and gold delivered. Well, you can take possession right away. But if you want the best prices or maintain low prices, you can actually call Miles Franklin and ask what their prices are, and then you can say, okay, I know if you know of another company that has lower prices, you can let them know, and most often than not, they will match those prices. So you can call Miles Franklin Precious Metals at 952-929-7006. This is the number here, or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you, and you will get the white glove treatment. Again, that's 952-929-7006. And that's if you desire to speak to someone. If you want to send an email, you can to info@milesfranklin.com. NESARA and GESARA will be announced after they tell you what's been going on through that emergency broadcast system announcement, and they will play out. It will either happen right after or at the same time, but they have to make the announcement first. And they will show you, according to what we've been told, a 3 to 7 day documentary about military tribunals and with information about the fake government that had usurped authority from our republic and created their own laws, how these laws were overturned by the Supreme Court of the United States. And they may very well announce that the Brunson case was decided in favor of the Brunson brothers and against Joseph Robinette Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and 385 members of Congress, because allegedly they either participated in election fraud or they knew about it and they didn't stop it, as well as allowing illegal immigrants to come into our nation, many of whom were voting illegally, and most of whom received some type of monetary benefits that are taking benefits away from the American people, and some of whom were committing high-level crimes. So we have to protect our country's borders now. No clouds or stars in the sky. Oh, no clouds and the stars are really bright in the sky, but no moon here in Mesa, Arizona. Yesterday, early morning, the moon was directly overhead, which I had never seen before. Thank you. A dream to share. Horatio says, you're right. You're absolutely right, Dr. Pruitt. I heard a report that the Fed is now bankrupt. So question, for those that can't afford gold or silver, is that the rainbow? Is that where the rainbow currency comes in? Yes, the rainbow currency will come in for everyone. This new currency that are stored in the banks right now is already backed by precious metals. So for people who can't afford silver and gold, it's just not in your budget right now. You will be able to get it when NESARA and GESARA are announced, because quickly the National Economic Security and Reformation Act has a global version called the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. That is a set of laws that were signed in 2000 by Clinton. Many presidents refused to sign it, but the military forced Clinton to sign this act into law, and that enables the people all across the globe to receive huge monetary benefits in exchange for the financial and economic enslavement that we've all endured. So not only will we all receive tens of thousands of dollars into our accounts, and you don't have to do anything to receive that, to my knowledge, it'll just go into your account. Not only will you receive that, but you will experience a debt jubilee, which means all of your bank loans, including the mortgage loans, car loans, what else? Student loans, personal bank loans, all of those will be wiped out. And it's supposed to occur in this year, which is the Platinum Jubilee year. Now, I was talking to Queen Elizabeth just yesterday, the sole executive of the Rodriguez Fund or Rodriguez Trust, which will inject trillions of dollars into the global economy. And you got to watch. I have to try to get these videos on my channel. Every time I try to unload videos from her channel onto mine, the computer, I get viruses on my computer. Isn't that crazy? So I was talking to her, and she let me know that this is the debt jubilee. And she said that on my channel twice, where every human is supposed to have all their debts wiped away. But this particular year, according to not the Gregorian calendar, but the other calendar, I can't think of the name. You guys tell me what the name of the other calendar is. It actually ends, we believe or speculate, in February 2024. But we do know that President Trump said this is going to be a very Merry Christmas. And he also said you're going to experience a very early, very Merry Christmas. So we're hoping that means that the money that people have been waiting to receive through NESARA and GESARA will happen before Christmas. Now, we know that we don't know any exact date because none of us have high enough military clearance to know exact dates. But the National Economic Security and Reformation Act and its global version, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, will again inject money into the global economy, trillions of dollars, and so that we can do our humanitarian projects, and so that we all can have money to live off, kind of like a universal basic income, but it won't be anything basic about it. It'll be a universal, wonderful income. And as a matter of fact, I want to thank my family in Guyana, South America, because one of the sisters from that country let me know while I was doing a live the other day. She put it in the comment section that they're about to receive GESARA in their country right now. And you can look it up. In Guyana, Guyana, South America, the president announced that he's given each citizen, or each, he didn't even say citizen, each national a grant. Let's see, was it $100,000? Yes, Let me look it up for you. Yeah, $100,000. And they will start receiving it in November. And then he plans for all of that money to be issued out by January 2025. So the president and his administration said that the Guyanese people in South America, and I think Guyana is near Venezuela, he said that all they have to do to receive their money is to prove that they are a Guyanese national. They have to have the proper identification. And even if you're overseas, he says, and you're a Guyanese, you can receive your money. I'm trying to get this comment off of here. If you're overseas, you can't receive the money overseas, though. You have to come back home to Guyana, and you have to have the proper ID to prove your nationality. So this is in alignment with the NESARA and GESARA that will each receive between $10,000 and $100,000 into our global accounts. Allegedly, it'll be into a non-interest bearing account over the amount of 11 years. So you want to make sure that you manage your money properly, because 11 years is not a long time, but we are so grateful for it, right? And there's no interest accruing on this money, non-interest bearing account, allegedly. I mean, according to what we've been told. So every adult to receive $100,000. President Irfan Ali yesterday announced a revision to his previously announced cash grant incentive, saying that instead of the one-off $200,000 per household payment, each adult citizen 18 and older will receive a one-off cash grant of $100,000. To be eligible, recipients will have to show proof of Guyanese citizenship by way of national identification card or a Guyanan passport. I now wish to announce that instead of the one-off cash grant of $200,000 to every household previously announced, my government will expand this benefit by providing a one-off cash grant of $100,000 to every adult citizen of Guyana who would have attained their age of 18 years of age the 1st of January. With the simple means of verification being possession of a valid national ID and or a valid Guyanese passport, Ali announced. Now, the woman who told me about this announcement said that they speculate, I don't know if she knows for sure, that their money will be backed by commodities or by precious metals that they have in their country. She also said that their understanding is that this is just one of many, even though they're saying it's a one-off payment, but that they're kind of testing it out in Guyana, South America, and just making sure that their citizens or their nationals are doing well for right now because of all the injustices that have occurred and for the financial hardships that the people there have experienced. So people have asked me, why do they get it first? Why hasn't it happened in our country? I don't know, but I would speculate it's because people in developing countries probably had to go through a lot of deflation of their currencies, of economic hardships. They had many sanctions put on them through the United States Incorporated and these elite bloodline family members. And some of these developing nations are also war torn. So I don't know how you all feel about it, but I'm excited for my Guyanese brothers and sisters. I say kudos to you all. Creator bless you. Please enjoy your money. Get you some food and supplies. Take care of your family members. Help one another out. Love on each other. And we are just rooting for you and rooting for all of the nations that will follow, because we know that if since Creator is doing that for you, we know the same thing is going to happen for us. So again, GESARA and NESARA is the National Economic Security and Reformation Act and the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act that was signed into law because the farmers took the United States Incorporated to court, and they took their central banking system, the Federal Reserve Central Bank, to court, to the highest courts, the highest court on the land, because the courts were forcing them to do certain things for loans that were unlawful and harmful, and they were forcing them to take out these loans with exorbitant interest put upon them. And if they didn't do those things, then the bank would confiscate their land, the central banks. So it was ruled in their favor that, in fact, they had been mistreated unfairly by the central banking system of the Federal Reserve. But not only had they endured that type of unfair treatment, but American people, we the American people all across the country. And in fact, the same thing happened to people across the globe, because the same Federal Reserve that was controlling our banks are the gangster banksters that were controlling the banks across the seas and all over the world. So the farmers won their claims. They called it the farmers' claims, but now we call it NESARA and GESARA. And it was determined that there would be a Grand Army of the Republic, or a global alliance, military alliance, that would be formed to take down these bloodline families. It was determined through in the 70s when the farmers took these bloodline families to court. They won their claims. At the same time, Empress Verdiasi Gaston L. Turner Bay, who is the Empress of the Moors, Muurs, a group of melanated people called Indians in the Louisiana region. She was a mayor there too, but she's also the Empress of the Washita, or some people call Ashita people. So many people with the name of Washington are actually part of the Washita tribe or Ashita tribe. She was the empress who took the United States Incorporated to court, just like the farmers did. And she said that these bloodline families had stolen land from the copper-colored indigenous people that most people call Black or Negro or colored or African American. Their original name was called Moors, Muurs, the Black people here. Then their name was changed from Moors to Indians, then from Indians to colored, then from colored to Native American, then from Native American and colored to Black, and then to African American. But the copper-colored people, Blacks, Negroid, whatever you call them, African American people, did not come from African slave ships. She proved that in her claim as well in her court case. But we were already here. They lied. The transatlantic slave ship, as they told it to us, was a lie. But when in fact, according to records, what happened was many people here that are classified as Black are also are actually prisoners of war. So as prisoners of war, their language was taken away from them, their culture, everything. Their artifacts were hidden in the Smithsonian Institute, and some things were also hidden in the Vatican. The records were changed, like even some of our great-great-grandparents' records. Thankfully, we still have some of ours, but some of them, they actually wrote in colored, or they wrote in something else, whereas before it will, let you know that they were indigenous to the land here. But even colored, that colored was another word for indigenous or Aboriginal or Moors, the Black folk that were here. So again, that story that they told us was a lie. When you look up the 1828 Webster's definition of American, it will say the copper-colored people found here by Christopher Columbus, but now applied to Europeans. And when you look at the accounts and records of the people that came here from Europe, you will see they said that the people here were tawny, they were dark complected or ruddy, red, dark or brown, high cheekbones, wide noses, etc., kinky, coily hair, which lets you know they were talking about the people that look like me. And when most of us do the study of our records and of our family members, we don't trace them all the way back to Africa. Now, unless they take a blood test, and not a blood test, but one of those tests that's owned by 23andMe and some of those other people who are elite bloodline families that could lie to you and get paid to lie to you. And I'm not saying some of us don't have African roots. I'm saying most of us were already here. So the Moors had an empress, the Ashita tribe. There's many tribes here. And she took the United States Incorporated to court and won her claims in the amount of $86 quadrillion. Just like the farmers were told that the Grand Army of the Republic would be put together to take down the deep state, she was told the same thing. And she was told that when it happens, there will be an emergency broadcast announcement at some point. Now, mind you, she took them to court in the 80s and 90s and 70s, 80s, and 90s at the same time the farmers' claim was going on. Won her case and was told that all this was going to happen, and then people will be paid out their claims. So that is NESARA and GESARA in a nutshell, and that is the Washita Empress's claim against the deep state. Thank you for 773 people being in the chat. So somebody says, the moon, Roderick says, Jeanette Scott, the moon has feminine energy, is tied to emotion. Absolutely. Is it too late to get XRP? I don't think it's ever too late. I don't think so, but you guys let Ab Mickey know. AB Mikima, let this person know if it's too late to get XRP and where they can find XRP. XRP is a digital asset, right? A digital monetary coin. It's a digital coin. The moon rings like a bell. No moon here, Dalton says. Thank you for letting us know. I'm not getting up to look out right now. I hear you. A Dream to Share says, can anyone see the moon right now? Okay, since we're in now the 23rd day at 2:11 a.m., has anybody seen the moon right now? Is it out? Hell was about right. Jeanette Scott says, I need to do a little more research. Good evening, Sister Lori. You're welcome. Jelena says, hello, Dr. Pruitt. Thank you for keeping us informed and updated. 13 months, 28 days a month. Nebraska's in the house. Jesus healed the woman with the issue of blood that bled for 12 long years. That's right, Serena. Someone says, eat raisins stops blood. Thank you for that information. When I stopped eating meat is when my menstrual went from 7 days to 4, then it went down to 3, and then it went away. Stopped eating meat, and for a while it was all meats and meat products. And that's when all of my cramps went away. My cycle first, it started getting very, very light, like light instead of dark blood. I just have streams and clots, and I'd be in pain. Some days couldn't get up out of the bed. But I stopped eating meat and meat products. And then I tried to see if there was something happening with the meat. And what I learned through my research was that there are hormones and chemicals that are fed the cattle that was causing some of us to have severe cramps. And so I'm not telling you all what to do. I'm just saying that's what helped me lessen my experiences. And I haven't had a cycle in many years. But I may have, that change started early for me. Been knowing about the moon. So the moon correlates with feminine energy and with silver. I meant to find somebody's message up earlier. Comments was that over the last 3 days, this person said I screenshotted and silver was $31.31 for 3 days in a row. Now it's going up. That should tell you something, family, that things are changing. Both silver and gold are going up. Let's see, when was gold at an all-time high? Trying to see when gold was at an all-time high. Let me Google it. Because I want to see if gold is at an all-time high right now. Because it's awfully high, family. Trying to get to Google. Here we go. I put when was, and it pops up. When was JFK assassinated? November 22nd, 1963 in Parkland Health, Dallas, Texas. What are the implications of Dallas, Texas, Parkland Health? Okay, so we're close to the all-time high in gold. When was gold at an all-time high? Gold reached an all-time high of $2,788.54 per ounce on October the 30th, 2024. This was driven by several factors, including, number one, global uncertainty. Investors are seeking gold as a safe haven investment amid geopolitical tensions in the United States presidential election. Number two, central bank purchases. Central banks have been buying gold or more gold than at any time since the United States abandoned the gold standard in 1971. Number three, the low interest rates. Low interest rates have supported the rally in gold prices. And finally, finite nature of gold. Gold is a finite resource. So $2,788.54 is the all-time high for gold. I can tell you there's a gold to silver ratio of about $87, meaning it takes about $87, 87 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. When that margin, or that, what do they call it? When that margin decreases, you'll be able to exchange your silver for gold. And so it may be a good idea, if gold is not in your budget, to get some silver, because you can get more silver. And silver is significantly underrated and undervalued, but it will outperform gold, because you need silver in everything that we're in terms of the era into which we're moving. You're going to need silver for solar panels. You need silver for appliances. You need silver for technology. You need silver for cars, for electric cars. As a matter of fact, the catalytic converter is both silver and palladium, and some say platinum as well. So you're going to need silver for your computers, your cell phones, all this high-end technology that's going to be released. You need silver for it. You have silver receptors in your brain, which is why scientists and physicians, but especially high-level scientists, are coming up with healing modalities to get rid of and treat brain-eating amoebas by using silver. So the moon correlates with feminine energy. Divine feminine energies are flooding the planet to help balance all of the masculine energy that's on this planet. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you all know this, but they plant, most states only plant, and I think it's just this in America, I don't know about across the world, only male trees. So these male trees are pollinating. All that pollen is just going into the air. There's no female trees for it to eject its seed into. So this is why you have a lot of asthma, a lot of sickness, a lot of colds and allergies that are occurring right now. Only male trees, and they're just pollinating, just shooting seeds all over the place, making us sick. So you have to have, we need more female trees planted. We need more divine feminine energy also to bring about justice. Remember, Mayat is the symbol for justice. She has the scales in her hand. The who you see representing justice, and on the scales of Libra, balancing things out, that's divine feminine energy. That's who Mayat is. So you see those energies flooding the planet right now in order to bring in love and peace and balance and justice for all the unrighteousness that's been done. Because mama don't let anybody play with her children. So that mama energy is cleaning up the planet right now. And gold, on the contrary, correlates with masculine energy and the sun. So we need masculine and feminine energy to balance the planet. California in the house. California turned red, but they're still pretending that it's a blue state. Wow. Okay. Keek Aura, namaste from New Zealand. Hello. New Zealand. Let me let you see something. Hold on, family. I sent this to my dog. New Zealand, you guys have brought something up to the courts, and I guess the deep state that's over there is trying to take away your liberties. Thank you for being here. And so let me see if I can show you what y'all did at court the other day. You probably already know it, but it is so powerful. Thank you for the Cash App, Cameron. God bless you, Cameron. I appreciate you. That was so kind of you. I pray that God blesses you with long life, peace, and prosperity and joy. Trying to see if I can find this. What happened in New Zealand the other day? I sent it to my family. Hold on. If anybody else is so inclined to send a blessing, my Cash App is Mama Kia 13, $ Mama Kia 13. I'm trying to show you what happened in New Zealand the other day. It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Have you all seen it? It's a video of one of their indigenous women doing their native or indigenous chant. Oh my God, it was so powerful. I don't think I put it on my timeline. Gosh, I don't see it, so I'm going to have to put it somewhere in the chat for you guys to see. God, it was so beautiful. If you guys find it, let me know. It's a chant that they do. Hold on. And they did it in court the other day. It gave me chills. Gosh, I cannot find it. And I want to show it, since you're here from New Zealand, I want to show you guys how amazing their indigenous people are. I'm sure all their people are amazing. I just wanted to show you what the indigenous people did. Keep checking in, family. I do not see this chat. Oh, thank you, Sister Rena, for sending me a blessing. Sister Rena M. God bless you, sending me a cash app. Creator smile on you is my prayer. And bless you 100-fold. Let me see if I send it to you. It was so amazing. Is that it? Oh gosh. Woo! I found it. Let me get it from the beginning. Hold on. Let's see if y'all can hear this. Oh shoot.
The house is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery is to be cleared.
The house was suspended. Now I'm gonna see if I could pull it up for you guys to see on the computer. So the indigenous people were in court against the powers that be. And you saw her ripping up the paper. I don't know if it was a treaty or what she ripped up. And then they started doing their chant. Woo. And they shut down the whole court. It was so powerful. I'm going to send this to myself and I'm going to let you guys see it on the computer. Now imagine if we did that. If we all got together and we did our tribal chants and shut down the courts. That would be so powerful. So let me see if I could send it, if I was able to send it to myself. So thank you, Lily Wadi says Kiki Ora, namaste from New Zealand. That was powerful. Let me see if I can let you see it on the computer because it's even more powerful here. Yep. Hold on. Let me bring that up for you. Thank you for being patient with me, family, and for joining us here. We're talking about how there's no moon out tonight. There was no moon out all last night. And this on November the 22nd, 2024, was the 61st anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr., who was the president that was trying to restore our republic like Donald Trump is doing now. And he was doing his best to return us to the gold standard. He was changing our money system. Money correlates with moon money. Alexander Mooney is the person that introduced bills to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold in alignment with the Constitution that says only silver and gold can be used as money. So this is a very important day. Also, November the 22nd is the third day from when Donald Trump said, I'm coming home in 3 days. He said that on the 19th, 2021, 22, November 22nd. That was the third day. I'm coming home, he said. Just like Jesus rose from the dead on the third day, the 3 days, 3 nights, a lot of things happened biblically. So what does Trump mean? I'm coming home in 3 days. You guys can let me know in the chat. So hold on, let's listen to this again. I'm gonna start it from the beginning.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery is to be cleared.
Woo, that just gives me chills, family. Woo, that's so beautiful to me. Woo. Okay. Angels says that was the famous hika, the war chant from New Zealand Maori. I am a Kiwi. Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. We just love experiencing different cultures and just experiencing the indigenous people's chants and their way of life. You know, when many of these nations, like such as New Zealand, were colonized by bloodline families, a lot of them had initially had treaties together, but the deep state did not honor their treaties. So like here in America, the copper color indigenous people that they call Black people, by the way, Black means you are a slave. You have no standing in law. You're dead. We were actually prisoners of war. So we had a treaty called the Treaty of Peace and Friendship that we made, my ancestors made with the Europeans that came here. Well, the deep state infiltrated many of the colonies of the Europeans and took over all of our governments and did not honor the treaties. So, you know, when the Moors come back into power, because mind you, most of us know Donald Trump is the last president, but what a lot of people don't know is he's the last president of the United States Incorporated, and then he will turn over the government into the hands of the Republic, and the government that will take over is, from what I understand or understand, the Moors who are still here. It would be interesting to me to see what's going to happen with that Treaty of Peace and Friendship, because the deep state again infiltrated our government, took over and usurped authority from the Moors here, destabilized the people here, took away their culture, their language, their artifacts, etc., and caused division between the Europeans and the Moors that were here, changed our ancestors' categorization from MUURS, because this was the Moors dynasty, here changed our categorization from, and they worked with Walter Plecker and the Census Bureau to do this, from Moors to Indian to indigenous, then to colored, then Negro, and then to Black, and then to African American, which African American is actually a categorization of meat and produce. So let me show you finally the flag of the Moors dynasty that was here before our government was usurped and overtaken by these bloodline families. And many of these bloodline families that usurped authority from our country are non-human. So a lot of people in government, that's why they say they're reptilians and draconians, and you see them shapeshift. Thank you. Somebody sent me another cash app. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you, Sister Lori. I appreciate you. God bless you and heaven smile on you. May the Creator bless you with 100-fold and with prosperity, peace, and long life. I sincerely appreciate you. So when they usurped authority, I forgot, I'm losing my train of thought, from the government here, of many of these people that are in power, you see them shape-shifting, and you can see the reptilian eyes and the draconian behavior. It's because those are actually interdimensional beings that overtook our government. Now, they put certain people in power, and they may have said, they created the system called white supremacy, and they may have said Europeans had more power than the copper-colored people here. But these are the systems that were put in place by these draconians or reptilians to cause infighting between the Europeans and the indigenous people here, so that they can cause them to unalive each other and to harm each other, along with the depopulation agenda and the manipulation and mind control and MK Ultra through the music and the television. All of this was instigated so that the draconians, reptilians, and other interdimensional beings can enslave all of us. And when you have infighting and you have them unaliving each other, and you poison them with mind programming and racism, sexism, and you poison them with food and poison the air, poison the water, give them fluoride, cut off their receptors in their brain so that they can't access their powers by giving them shots when they're children, inoculation for certain diseases, and which was actually lessening our powers. When you do all that, it becomes easier for you as interdimensional beings to enslave the whole planet. And then you only have a small population left to control. So you still get your workers to do the bidding that you want to do, mining and, running the planet, keeping things going while you control the whole planet. And that's what they were doing. So let me show you. So what you see now flagging, what I've heard, the red, white, and blue flag is actually a banner of trade and commerce that was the banner of the Europeans that came here. Because when they came, they were doing their thing. Nobody bothered them. They were acknowledged as their own nation. And you heard many presidents, particularly you heard Obama say it, and President Trump say that Morocco was the first nation to recognize us as our own nation, because the Moroccan Empire, it started here. It was here in America and it expanded out. Just like Egypt is here, Babylon is here, Israel's here. Well, Morocco is here. And this is the flag of Morocco. So you will see, this is the flag of the Moor dynasty here in Morocco. So then the Moroccan people expanded out and went out to other parts of the world. Remember, the whole globe used to be one landmass called the Pangea, then it split out. Well, these peoples originated, according to what we know now, in this area of America, and they spread out. And so did their dynasty. And this is the flag. And you see different replicas of this flag. These are the colors: red, green, and gold. Green for the land. Red, I don't know if red is for the blood. I forgot. Gold for gold. Red for the land, red for the people. Red for the blood, green for the land, gold, of course, for, royalty, where's gold, and gold for the gold that we use as money. But somebody can add more to the discussion, because I'm sure there's more to the red, green, and gold than I know. So when you look in the White House, you will see the two flags actually hang together. So let's look at Clinton. What's Clinton's wife's name? Clinton in front, Hillary Clinton in front of the Moorish flag, or Moors flag. So Moors was originally spelled M-U-U-R-S, and then it changed, according to my overstanding, to M-O-O-R-S. images. Okay. So that's the flag of the dynasty here. Oh, somebody says two people that I know who befriended me shapeshifted in front of me. Their eyes turned to slits and I was terrified. But I prayed so hard not to show my fear. I was so proud of myself not to fold. That's awesome. So you're downloading Exodus? Somebody asked me. Oh, somebody, y'all talking to each other. Yes, we got to get out of the matrix. No, it's not too late to do your humanitarian project. This is the perfect time to put your humanitarian project together, family. Okay, you guys are talking to each other about buying XRP, I think. Okay, so this is the flag here that's on my Facebook page. And now let me show you another flag. You can screenshot, you can look up Hillary Clinton stands next to the Moorish flag or something like that, and you'll see these images. This is Hillary Clinton. Let me show you this here. See this flag here, the so-called United States, the incorporated flag, and here is the flag of the Republic, the flag of the dynasty that's operating side by side, the Republic along with United States Incorporated. Okay, they're telling us the story right here in this image. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Now, President Obama says that Morocco, this is Morocco or Amorica, the dynasty was here, headquarters here, and expanded out. Morocco over in the African area is actually part of our dynasty. Okay, now those people that are over there don't look like Africans because they, people came over there and took over their country and mixed in with the people there. But Morocco was the first to acknowledge us as our first nation because when Europeans came here, they were acknowledged as their own colonies. They had 13 colonies. They had their own way of doing things. This is their banner of flag, that banner of trade and commerce. And they pay homage to the Sultan, who is the king of the Moors. They pay homage to the Sultan because he acknowledged them as their own nation. Now, when we all start marrying together, making babies together, the elite people, the so-called elite people who usurped our government, then came up with laws that said we weren't allowed to marry with each other. They didn't want any mixing of the blood or mixing of the people, because if you unite, then you can unite against those that are in power, that are in control of your governments. So that's one picture. And you can see here, I'm just going to make sure you can all see this. Yep. Other pictures. There's some more here. Let's see what this flag is. Moorish flags on both sides of Hillary Clinton. I wonder why. Somebody commented. Here's a bunker here flag right here. Sovereign flag of Morocco, or Al Morocco, another word for America. Here's the flag of, here it is, of annuity and commerce, aka the Star Spangled Banner, not a national flag. That's not the national flag. This is, my darlings. Woo, child. It's going to be a glorious day when things return back to the way it's supposed to be. I got kicked out. Everybody that remains here will have to live peaceably with each other and abide by treaties of peace, friendship and peace here. And they have to abide by the 5 principles of our dynasty. The 5 principles. of our dynasty here, or 5 principles of the Moors. Here, I'm going to show them to you so we can see them together. Thank you guys for staying with me. Truth, peace, freedom, justice, and love. Just like the 5 points of our star of our flag. Truth, peace, freedom, justice, and love. Isn't that amazing? This is the national flag, National Morris Registry. This is the national flag of the dynasty that's here, of our republic. Things are going to have to return back to the way it was before the bloodline families usurped authority. So the laws of the land and the land will return back to the indigenous copper-colored people called the Moors, Blacks, African Americans, Negro colored. And that's why you all that look like me need to get your mind right. You need to get out of the mind of slavery, get out of the mind of racism, sexism, that whole mentality. You have to do a radical mind change and a paradigm shift, because the principles, of this dynasty are truth, peace, freedom, justice, and love. Unless you vibrate on this frequency, you won't be able to ascend to the 5th dimension. I don't care what your complexion, ethnicity, or nationality is. You will have to resonate on this frequency. We're moving back to this in the age of Aquarius. So people have been saying, things are going to look bad for people that are still here. No, it's not going to. It's going to look wonderful. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be amazing. That's why Trump keeps saying, make America great again. Because before the bloodline families or these draconians, reptilians, more importantly, usurped authority, we had beautiful, beautiful cities and dynasties here in America and all across the planet. So I can't wait to get back to this time period. I look forward to it, actually. And it's very, very exciting, and for me, encouraging. You live and learn. That's right. Somebody said, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the 5 principles of our dynasty here. So in summary, family, this is an amazing time to be alive. I'm excited to introduce some information, and some of you, you didn't have to be introduced to it, but the breaking news is there is no moon out tonight. We've all looked in America, different cities, different states. Some of you looked in your countries, and if it's dark there, no moon. Why is there no moon in the skies all across the globe? Let me see, when is the new moon? When is the new moon? It just so happens that we noticed that there was no moon on November the 22nd, just a couple hours ago, 2024, when we looked all night in different states and different cities on the same day that is the 61st anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr., who is the president that tried to restore the republic, our lawful government, and return us back to constitutional law. He also is the president that said there is a plot to enslave every man, woman, and child. But before I leave this high noble office, I intend to expose this plot. He also tried to return us to the money standard of gold and silver. He wanted to take us back to where we were before we were taken off of the gold standard. So we see no moon in the sky, and we saw silver leave or go up in value, whereas it had been $31.31 over the last 3 days, but now it's higher in value, and gold has increased in value. So if you have a chance, get you some silver and or gold, or get you some digital coins. Do it as people are talking in the chat how you can do that. The new moon was on November the 1st. So the new moon is when you don't see any moon in the sky. Most people know that. Farmers know that. And that's when you have a lot of high holy days according to the Hebrew faith. But this is not a new moon that we're experiencing where you have different phases of the moon. It start out with no moon, and then gradually you see a sliver, a quarter, a half until a full moon. Well, the new moon was November the 1st. So this is November the 23rd today, and still there's no moon outside. So that's not the new moon. That means either they took the moon off of here or something amazing is going on. And it happened on the day that it was the anniversary of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr.'s assassination. You guys can continue on. Let me know in the chat what you think about this. Oh, you guys are helping each other. Oh, you're talking about the Exodus wallet. I assume you're talking about how to purchase XRP. Oh, somebody says we're supposed to be in the last quarter of the moon. Supposed to be the last quarter moon. Okay. Oh, Elstrick says the moon is out now. I just saw it. Interesting. Wow. And where are you, Elstrick? Because we haven't seen it. So, family, I am so blessed that you all joined me today. We have 826 people in the chat. I appreciate you. We made a breaking announcement that there was no moon in the sky all across the country and in certain parts of the world on the 61st anniversary of the assassination of John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr. We thought that was interesting since he was the one that wanted to return us to the Republic and the gold standard, just like President Trump. Moon energy is the divine feminine energies. Moon correlates with silver, which is why I'm wearing silver today. Moon correlates with silver and divine feminine energy. Gold correlates with masculine energy, which is why I'm wearing my gold crown right now, my gold jewelry. And it correlates with the sun. So moon, money, same word, just an extra O. Could they be letting us know that we're now on the gold standard? We already know that more than 45 states have reclaimed silver and gold as money here. And we know that the BRICS nations all across the globe have declared their sovereignty and declared gold and silver as money and are now trading with their local currencies backed by silver and gold. So I would expect something very, very amazing to happen in the upcoming days, since we see a lot playing out. And speaking about amazing things, the Republic being restored, coded messages letting us know things are happening, you can see that the land is being returned back to the indigenous people and the original Constitution, original Republic in their codes. Like the Eagles lost to the Chiefs on the land. The Eagles lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a year or two ago. The eagle is the symbol for the Roman dynasty, which is also the symbol for the United States Incorporated, which is the same thing. Rome chose the eagle as their symbol because of the prowess, powers, and behaviors and characteristics of the eagle. Well, the eagle fell to the Chiefs at the Super Bowl, the Chiefs on the land. And I made that announcement, the Chiefs going to win, because everything has to return back to the indigenous people, because they're the ones who were running everything before the elite bloodline families, which I told you all before. There are 13 bloodline families behind the Rothschild, Rockefellers, and all the bloodline families that we know. And those bloodline families that's controlling the whole planet look like me. So the original bloodline families, they're all brown folk that's fighting each other. They've been fighting against each other for centuries. As above, so below. A lot of those fallen angels, those Nephilim or whatever you call them, from those different dimensions, they've been fighting in their different galaxies for centuries. And they brought the war right here on Earth and used us as pawns the whole time. The original language, one of the original language that was here, one of my friends told me, my Facebook friends told me, is actually an Ethiopian language. No wonder the Ethiopians think I'm related to them, because Ethiopia was right here. The Ethiopian language was right here, started right here. Some of my linguistic friends who studied language know that. Haile Selassie was American. He fled to Ethiopia Very interesting. The bloodline families that control the planet are related to him. And that's why the Queen of England bowed down to him. He was the supreme leader, according to what I've been taught. So they've been just using us as pawns, but these elite, so-called elite folk, oh, they've been fighting for a long time. Keep checking in, family. We've been on for almost 3 hours. We're about to get out of here. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Let me show you Haile Selassie standing while the Queen of England bows at his feet. Interesting. Hold on. Yep, you need to get some Vietnamese dong. You sure do. Somebody see somebody in the comment section. Vietnam's GDP has been doing well for a long time. When the pandemic was happening and the whole world was shutting down, oh, Vietnam was thriving. Their GDP had gone through the roof. They were still trading. They have different alliances with a lot of East Asian nations, and they're doing just fine. Now the everyday people may not realize it yet, but in terms of commerce, and their GDP was doing very well during the global shutdown. I reported that then in 2020. Don't sleep on Vietnam. I got a whole video called Don't Sleep on Vietnam. So let me see if you can see this. Remember I said you have 13 bloodline families that control the world, that we know that control the world, but then there are 13 bloodline families controlling those bloodline families? All Moors fighting each other. Those bloodline families that rule the world are Moors. And I want to show you who they are right now. And they're related to Haile Selassie, allegedly. Here's the Queen of England. Oh, every time I do that, it goes back. Hold on. So I'm not able to enlarge this particular picture, but I'm going to show it to you. Can you see that here? I can read it to you. This is Haile Selassie. This is the Queen of England bowing to Haile Selassie. Why? She bows to no one. Or bowed, she's gone, to no one. Here's the Queen of England bowing at Haile Selassie's feet, the Ethiopian leader. Why? Because his bloodline is the bloodline that truly rules or had ruled the world. Everyone bows or bowed to the Queen of England. The only person she bowed to was Negus Haile Selassie, legendary emperor of Ethiopia, as well as the king of the Solomonic dynasty. So he comes from the Solomon bloodline and the king of that dynasty. Somebody said gold went up too high. Yeah, so if it's not in your budget to get gold, get silver. And then when the gold silver to silver ratio shrinks from 87, where it is, to 1 down to like 30 to 1, or even further than that, then you can switch over your silver for gold. Because according to many historians and financial people that I've spoken with, when you consider the normal rate between gold and silver, the gold to silver ratio should be, some say, at the most 30 to 1, at the least 3 to 1. That's the ratio between the gold and silver. It's 87 to 1 right now. Get you some silver and you can trade it in for gold, or go ahead and roll it over to gold. But you can get more silver for your money. And again, silver will outperform gold. You can look that up. And silver is undervalued. They're suppressing the prices. They don't want you to know how valuable silver is. It's going to be in all of your solar panels, electric cars, and appliances, and your technology. But yes, diversify. Get you some coins, some precious metals, some different currencies. Love Nubian says, has the Kuwaiti dinar revalued? I don't know. But most people are getting Iraqi dinar. I assume Kuwait is okay. Iranian rial, Indonesian rupiah, from that region. And Vietnamese dong and some of the other ones you guys are naming. Vietnamese dong and Indonesian rupiah is the current at the exchange. It's the what at the exchange centers? I don't understand what you're saying. But yes, diversify. Silver is very, very affordable at $31 if you have it, if you have a surplus. So let me show you the bloodlines, families that are running the world. So this was thank you, Dean, who sent this to me. It correlates with what I found in my research, so I appreciate you. The 13 families we think rule the world: the Astor bloodline, the Bundy bloodline. Remember the Bundys on that show, that sitcom that came out? Something about some kind of family. I can't think of that name. Al Bundy. They were letting you know. The Astor bloodline, the Bundy bloodline, the Collins bloodline, the DuPont bloodline, the Freeman bloodline, the Kennedy bloodline. I'm telling you, the Lee bloodline, the Onassis bloodline, the Reynolds bloodline, Reynolds Rap, the Rockefeller bloodline, the Rothschild bloodline, the Russell bloodline, and the Van Duyn bloodline run the world. But who controls them? Here are the 13 families who actually rule the world. Those are the ones you think. We thought these are the ones that actually run the world. The Borgia bloodline, the Breakspear bloodline, the Somaglia bloodline, the Orsini bloodline, the Conti bloodline, the Chigi bloodline. I wonder if those are the ones that's in Chicago that they're going after. The Colonna bloodline, the Farnaces bloodline, the Medici as a medicine bloodline, the Gaetani bloodline, the Pamphili bloodline, the Este bloodline, and the Aldobrandini bloodline. The actual bloodline families who are related to Haile Selassie and the Ptolemaic dynasty. Interesting. Wait till all this information comes out to the public. There's no moon in Chicago. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate you. We needed to know if the moon was, still missing. James Moore says, greeting from Israel. Greetings, James. Thank you for being a supporter of the show. I love you so much. Shalom says, did you say that the emperor of Ethiopia is related to the Moors? Yes. The Moors are just Moors, M-U-U-R-S. They are the Aboriginal people on the planet. They're all over the planet. Haile Selassie is allegedly connected to the bloodline family that's controlling the world. This bloodline family on this side. That they're the ones controlling the other bloodline families about which we know. It's almost 3 a.m. in Toronto, Canada, as well as it's 3:02 a.m. here in northern Florida. The moon is out here in Texas. It's cut in half. Oh, it's out now. Okay, it was missing. Now it's cut in half. Wow. So, interesting. We need to figure out what's going on. Well, I hope you come back tomorrow, Legendary Simone. Okay, family, it's 2 a.m. there where Basic Lay is. It's 3:03 a.m. 3:03 a.m. and 45 seconds. We've been on live. We've shared a lot of information today. I hope you all are well. Get silver and gold as you are able to afford it. Get digital currencies as you are able to afford them. Do some researching into silver and gold. The Constitution for our republic says the only thing that can be used to pay off debts are silver and gold. And the Constitution, that's Article 1, Section 10. And the Constitution defines the dollar as a fixed weight in silver. Many legislators such as Alexander Mooney, Andy Briggs, Paul Gosar, the latter two being from Arizona, have introduced the Gold Standard Restoration Act to define the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. We already know the dollar is defined as fixed weight in silver. That's called the Gold Standard Restoration Act by way of these different acts, starting with House Resolution 5404, introduced in 2018, House Resolution 9157, introduced in 2021, 2022, House Resolution 2435 introduced in 2023. So those three resolutions or bills are called the Gold Standard Restoration Act. And they, again, will define the dollars at fixed weight in gold. We already know that more than 45 states have reclaimed silver and gold as money, and they did this by repealing or removing the state sale taxes from the sales of precious metals. When you remove the state sale taxes from the sales of precious metals, you're acknowledging that it's money. Let me tell you how. Because when we came off the gold standard, the powers that be then deemed silver and gold to be seen as a commodity like trading cards and artifacts rather than being used as money. And since they were seen and deemed as a commodity, you can tax them. But it's not lawful to tax money. So these people in power were going against the Constitution. So that's why we see a move towards the repealing and removal of the state sales tax from the sales of precious metals here in America. And all across the globe, you see countries, according to Project Sandman, dropping the dollar, the United States dollar for trade and using only their local currencies backed by precious metals. So if you have any residual money or savings, you may feel inclined to put it in food, because you saw earlier in the podcast, somebody showed us in a comment section, and I pulled up the clip of where they're actually closing down some of these states here in America. They might be getting ready for an emergency broadcast system announcement. And I told you all in my earlier podcast that Trump was preparing for an EBS. So it looks like these things are true. So get you some supplies, some toilet paper, your all the supplies you might need. What else? Your candles, your batteries, your flashlights, your beans and rice, your canned goods. Get whatever you need. Let me show you that. If I can find it. Here's the video where I said Trump is preparing for the EBS. You want to look at that? Because I'm letting you know they're preparing us for this shutdown that many states are experiencing right now. And President Trump says he'll declare a national emergency, where he said he's going to deport the millions of illegal aliens that are here. I wanted to show you something else, but I don't remember what it was. I'm looking on my Facebook page. Seemed like it was something on my page. Oh, yes. Okay. I showed you an article on my Facebook page that I wrote before the global pandemic that I think is appropriate for right now. So you get you some supplies, and you can get some silver and gold or constitutional silver. Check with your local coin company first if you want to take possession into something right now. The prices will be higher because, they have to make a profit. Or you can contact our affiliate, Miles Franklin Precious Metals Company, at 952-929-7006, or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. And let the brokers know that Dr. Kia Pruitt sent you. Yes, the moon is out and bright in Texas. Only the bottom is lit like a thick crescent moon. Thank you. The moon is out now. Interesting, because it wasn't for several hours. All night, last night on the 22nd, it was missing all across the country and in Texas. Interesting. Everyone but criminals will be freed of all shackles and chains. Absolutely, in this age of Aquarius. You are amazing. Where do you get all that energy from? Rest well, Mom. Thank you, Sunshine Gold. I know. Thank you for calling me amazing. I appreciate you. I don't know where this energy comes from. It must come from the ancestors or the creator, but it's winding down now. Sunshine Gold, I'm getting tired. Let me show you this, and we can wrap up with this, family. Hold on, let me take that. I don't want that show sponsor thingy on there. I wrote this before the pandemic, and then it happened. So that's why I'm encouraging to get everything, all your ducks in a row. Here, I showed you on my Facebook page the article that I wrote, and I even gave you a link to it. I had written this the 1st of March, and then somebody screenshot it and sent it to an independent news source that we call Rumor Mills, some guy by the name of Mr. Ed, right before the shutdown. And it was interesting because this article that I wrote on my Facebook page went viral in March of 2020, the 1st of March, and it went viral across all social media platforms. And I had started getting phone calls from all over America, and people was like, "Your article went viral all over the world." Some people were apologizing to me for, making fun of me because I had been saying for years we're going to experience a black swan event where things would shut down, the National Guard would be on the ground. I didn't know what it would look like. I just knew what was told to me, what the creator showed me, and what people brought to me supporting evidence, in their intel. So if it happened, exactly what I said, what would happen, happened. But that was the creator speaking. I wrote this post before the world was shut down, I say, in 2020. I just wrote this yesterday. Excuse me. But I'm saying in 2020, I wrote this before the world was shut down. Someone submitted it to an independent news source and it went viral. Then the world shut down. Could we experience the same soon in order to usher in Donald J. Trump now in the office and get Biden out? Biden is instigating war during a time when the world has agreed to world peace. This would be a great time to shut down the world and announce the Brunson case and remove Biden. I'm commanding it to be so. And then I use hashtag prophetess, hashtag Mama Kia, hashtag Dr. Kia Pruitt, hashtag EBS, hashtag world peace, hashtag prosperity, hashtag abundance. And this is the article I wrote. It was published in Rumor Mills Thursday, March the 12th. Mind you, the whole world shut down on the 13th. So I'm glad it was published before then so that, it doesn't look like I'm a fraudulent person. This was submitted by Mr. Ed, but written by Dr. Kia Pruitt, because again, he screenshot it from my Facebook page when I wrote it in 2020 and sent it to Rumor Mills, and it went viral. Oh, and people were slandering me all over Twitter, calling me a fake, a fraud, saying my credentials are fraudulent. And I'm like, you can Google my credentials. You can look up University of Louisville. You can see my dissertation, that I passed, that I, passed my comps. You can see who was on my committee. You can see that I graduated from the University of Louisville in Louisville, Kentucky with a PhD. Like, all this is researchable. I'm not hiding anything. Whereas some people are saying they're Dr. So-and-so, but they won't tell you where they graduated from. They won't give you their real name. They won't tell you anything about them or provide any proof. You can look me up. It's there. Dr. Pruitt wrote, "We were told years ago," remember this was in March, early March 2020, "that there would be an event that would quarantine America and possibly the planet in order to make global mass arrests. We were encouraged to stock up on food, water, and supplies. We were also instructed to remain calm. Martial law may be implemented to keep people off the street while these arrests occur. Schools will be closed, flights grounded, airplanes closed. Why?" Now, this all sounds bizarre when I wrote this. "Because the people being arrested for participating in corruption and worldwide pedophilia and human trafficking trade, crimes against humanity, and treason, erderme, grape, etc., is massive. The corruption is massive and affects every aspect of society. This includes Hollywood entertainers, NBA and NFL athletes and staff, politicians, pastors, banking CEOs, corporate heads, school officials, coaches, and educators. Some of your doctors, I should have said some of our doctors, lawyers, judges, college professors, school teachers, police officers and chiefs, firemen, business owners, airport workers, pilots, bankers, and priests. Everyday people are currently being arrested for their crimes against humanity. A lot of them are involved in nefarious behaviors and secret societies, so the masses have not been privy to their wrongdoings, ritualistic abuse, child trafficking trade, child hunting hunting parties, ritualistic erdermes, trafficking of, drug, involvement in underground activities in the deep underground military bases that we call DUMBs. This is why some of us reported on a notable resignation list for 2 years, I said, and this was 2020. Many people were on that list under the guise of resignation. We also reported on military tribunals, which began January 2019. Some of us actually watched military tribunals, including me, take place on c-vine.com. This corruption is huge. POTUS, who was then President Donald Trump, asked that people not be in crowds. One reason, other than catching the virus, that sickness that shut down the world eventually, is because the deep state, NWO, New World Order corrupt leaders, could attempt to retaliate. Since they know that we've been involved in a covert operation against them, be safe. The planet is being cleansed. The C virus is a cover. CORONA, which I taught you means, what I taught you, you already know this means crown, as in gold, as in crown chakra being activated. Okay. This virus, they called it, is a cover. And I told you that was code words for we're entering a new era, a golden era, and they were trying to stop us from ascending and elevating in consciousness. The second coming of Christ is actually your Christos consciousness awakening. They were trying to stop that by giving us the virus. While it is true that the deep state global New World Order elites created this virus and attempted to infect the masses, President Trump and the Global Alliance co-opted the operation and used it as a cover to arrest global elites, including the Pope and the unroyal family, politicians, and Hollywood elites. The mainstream media will announce that folks came down with the virus. Actually, they've been arrested. These people at the high level, when they say they came with the CV, came down CV. Some have been at Guantanamo Bay for a while, actually. At some point, an announcement will be made. Remain calm and be stocked up. Those people who don't have food and supplies will have an opportunity to get it from their neighbors or from the military, because troops will likely be on the ground. Talk about prophetic. And they'll be on the ground to make arrests, number one, and two, to keep everyone calm. A curfew may be implemented. Boy, people had a field day calling me crazy because they had never seen a curfew happen before. And here I was saying it before it happened. But God was speaking through me. We were instructed also that the new monetary policies and our new gold-backed system will be implemented and trillions injected into the economy after the global mass arrest. Otherwise, these nefarious beings would have once again stolen our wealth and re-empowered themselves. Soon, the Republic, our lawful government, will be restored and constitutional law. Be encouraged. Things are finally getting better for humanity. What an exciting time to be alive. Soon we will enjoy the benefits of NESARA, GESARA, and our sovereignty, and finally enjoy planetary peace and prosperity. Be well, Dr. Kia Pruitt. And I give you the source here. Operation Disclosure is the source. Oh, and that was even published on many videos. There's a channel that was called And We Know that was very popular in 2020. They published it on their channel, and many independent sources, churches got the article. They were warning their people. It was really an exciting event. Just watching this article go viral after I've been called a false prophet, a liar, and a fraudulent person. So this video is just one of my videos where I talk about what's going on right now. But here is the source. It was published in Operation Disclosure, and it was also put into rumor mills. Let me see, let me get out of here. Thank you for 834 people staying with me. I appreciate you. So here it is right here. Operation Disclosure has it here. They published theirs on, oh no, this says March 13th here. This must be when it was updated, because you can see here it was submitted to them March the 12th, 2020 here at 23:47:42. What time is that? Is that 1:47? I don't know what time. I don't know what that is in military time. So Mr. Ed is the source. Oh, he sent it to Rumor Mills, but it was written by Dr. Kia Pruitt. He submitted it to them from me via email. And here's the article. Let me put that in the description section. I'm going to put it in the description section of the channel if I remember, but I'm going to put it here in the comment section. So I will be deported when he begins deporting the people. No, the only people that will be deported, William, are the illegal people that are here, that came here unlawfully. That's a good question. Oh, wow, this is a big article. Okay, did it reduce itself? Good googly muggly. Okay, it's here in the chat. Wait a minute, Operation Disclosure. There we go. Wow. Yes, I'm still alive, but I'm losing my energy. I'm getting sleepy. I have to start from the beginning. Sorry, MM. The moon is waning in this eye waning gibbous phase, so it should be partially visual now, unless the cloud formation occurs. Planet Pluto moved into Aquarius on the 19th of November. We have crossed the threshold. Thank you, Stella. We made it. Yes, Chicago does have a Federal Reserve Bank. Are some of your ancestors from Chicago? Possibly. I know the numbers behind my Social Security number of mine is connected to Chicago. Interesting. My family has been in America a long time. I didn't come from Africa, though. I heard that. Somebody said, please stay live for 3 more hours. I can't do. I'm sleepy, Horatio. Oh, you were born in Texas? Yes, everybody will receive NESARA and GESARA benefits all over the globe. William Terry says, as an African American, will I be able to receive NESARA, GESARA? Everybody will. That's a great question. We all will, because we've all been enslaved by these nefarious beings. They also took our birth certificates. You know, when you were born, the birth of people, as well as marriages and deaths, used to be written in the family Bible, and you would pass that down to your generations. Well, they changed that. So now you're born in a hospital and not born at home. You're born in a hospital. Then they get the mom to be an agent for them and got us to sign off on the birth certificate, handing over our children to the state and to these wicked people in power. Then they took our birth certificate, securitized it, and exchanged it and traded it on the New York Stock Exchange, where it was accruing interest. And all that money was then put in a trust, and we each were given a trust, where we each had a trust created for us. And anytime we wanted to buy a house, it was supposed to be paid through the trust. Anytime you paid rent, all of that was supposed to be offset from the trust. Any bills you got was supposed to be offset through the trust. But what these nefarious people did is, when you would get a loan through the bank, they will have you to sign off on it, giving them power of attorney to access your trust. And we didn't know that. So they would pay themselves out of the trust. Go to court, they would pay themselves out of your trust. And the judge he comes and operate in a black robe because he's performing a ceremony, because you and I are considered dead at sea. And particularly people that look like me, so-called African Americans, which I'm telling you, when you're not African American, you're not from both continents. Most of you are the original Americans that were here. Ask your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents. Ask your great-grandparents. They'll tell you got Indian in your family, and they'll tell you the Indian tribe. So they told you to call yourself black because black means dead, and means you have no standing in law. When other people come here, I don't care what color their skin is, they're classified as white, because white is a categorization of an owner and somebody that has land. It represents sovereignty and wealth, purity, wealth, ownership. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. So they'll tell you I'm not black. And then once upon a time, we didn't want to be called Black because we knew what it meant. My aunts and uncles wouldn't dare not call them Black. They know that we were Cherokee. But then James Brown, who was, Illuminati person that had a handler, was commissioned to sing that song, "Say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud." And that's popularized the term Black. Black power, Black pride, Black magic, all that, to get people to be psychologically influenced to call themselves Black instead of calling themselves by their names and their tribal family name. So whether you're classified as Black, white, or whatever, if you're an American here, you'll receive NESARA benefits. Isn't that wonderful? So you have NESARA and GESARA benefits, but you also have the Washita claim, where Empress Verdiasi L. Gaston Turner Bay also took, I told you all, the United States to court, and she won her claims for in the amount of $85 quadrillion. That has to be paid off to the different tribes. So I hope, family, this has been an encouraging podcast to let you know we've crossed the threshold, as somebody said. This is it. This is a new season. It's a new day. We are in the age of Aquarius. No more dying, because we have experienced the med beds, which will cure all of the ailments in our body and allow us to regress in age if that's what we desire. You can go back to being, whatever age you desire. And it will extend our lives. New Pre says, find your tribe. Genealogy research. It'll take you to your ancestors' tribe. Thank you for saying that. Somebody says, Dr. Kia, you're rocking that picture in your thumbnail. Thank you. Here's the picture. Let me see if I can show it to you. Where's that picture, my thumbnail? Let me see if I have it in my photo album. And it's the picture with me in the afro. See, profile picture. So I don't have it. I don't think I have it in my photo album, but you guys know it's a picture with me doing like this with big old afro and white pants. Yeah, here it is. And a gray sweater. And it's my hair. Hold on. Let me cancel that. Here it is. That's Dr. Kia right there. Thank you for liking that picture, family. Love and light, Dr. Kia. You're always full of energy. Get some rest, beautiful. And thank you for all your knowledge. Thank you, 17 Rings. I really appreciate you. William says that's cool. So if we are African Americans, doesn't that mean we come from Shem? What we're not. Most of us are not. I'm not sure what African American is, because your nationality is where your people come from. So, but you're asking, do we come from Shem? You come from Shem, Ham, or Japheth? I don't know. I would probably ask my family. Sunshine Gold says beautiful. So that's it, family. I thank you so much for all the cash apps and for your energy, for your love, for your light, for your nice, kind words, for your support, even. And let me thank the people who gave on the live. George, I think was it George? Brother George? No, Brother Gary gave us $100 here on the live. Thank you so much. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. And let's read and acknowledge the people who gave us a cash app. Tamaraka? What's Tamaraka? Oh, Daryl Lattimore, that's my baby brother. Hey, baby brother. Nah, I love you. How you doing? It's good to see you, baby brother. I hope you're doing well. Happy Sabbath. Dr. Kia, please see previous message about our social. Yeah, our social securities are actually a bank account number, and people were using that to trade and do all kind of business. You used to be able to look at under GMEIL utilities.org. You could see all of the different hundreds of companies. I had thousands trading under my social security name, making money. Yes, Africa and America are two different continents. So you probably should talk to your family and see what tribe you're from. Somebody says, wow. Hi, basically. My brother says, I love you as well. So let me see. Let me go to my Cash App. Those of you who blessed me, thank you. I love you all so much. Thank you for respecting my work, appreciating it, and supporting it, because it does take a lot to study, read everything, understand it, overstand it enough to explain it, and to explain it in such a way that people can grasp it for themselves. And then to get all the supporting evidence and put it in the description section of both my Rumble and YouTube account. It takes time, but it's a job like anything else, and it's my great pleasure. Yes, I should be in bed, food and nutrition. You are absolutely right. Okay, so thank you, Lori, for sending me a blessing. Thank you, Sister Rena M. Thank you, Cameron. And to all of you who sent it or plan to send one, I appreciate you so much. During the lockdown, allegedly the heads of 13 Italian families were dealt with in 2020. Wow. And even more. So that's why I read the article that I published in 2020 to let you know that very well could happen again. Right now, you're hearing that other states, some states are actually locking down their states. So this is not hearsay, family. So that's it, family. We've been on for 3 hours and 31 minutes. The Kuwaiti dinar, I don't know much about the Kuwaiti dinar. Their dinar does pretty well. It did revalue in 1991. I don't know what it's going to do this year. I only know about the Kuwaiti dinar and some of the other currencies. The Vietnamese dong, Venezuelan bolivar, Zimbabwean zim, and some other Indonesian rupiah and Indian rupee. When the spirit moves you, the spirit moves you. All right, but the Kuwaiti dinar, I don't know how it's doing. Rate of Kuwaiti dinar. The rate of the Kuwaiti dinar right now, one Kuwaiti dinar to how many USD? One Kuwaiti dinar, it looks like to $3 USD, $3.48 USD. So it may be reinstated. To reinstate all the country's currencies have been be devalued through war and sanctions will be reinstated to their normal value based on the resources that each country now has: silver, palladium, platinum, and gold. And they all repatriated their resources from the Vatican. So now they're going to back their dollars, money up with gold. So and silver and gold. Some people say, what about the agro checks, et cetera, et cetera. So that's it, family. We've been on for 3 hours and almost 33 minutes. Vietnamese dong, Vietnam, Venezuelan money. Just I'll put it in the description section, or bruh, Daryl, you can call me. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. I love you, family. I'm sleepy. Good night. Sweet dreams. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your love and support.